I don't know what the hell that was. Welcome back, folks. I am Jake Ellenbogen of the Jake Ellenbogen channel. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, you'll probably like me. So, in case you do, just put that placeholder subscription in there. Give me a sub, and I won't let you down. Well, we have news because, hey, the NFL never sleeps, right? And right now, there's all sorts of stuff going on, all sorts of speculation, what have you, and well, some interesting stuff going on in regards to Jared Goff, in regards to John Wolford, in regards to Les Snead, Sean McVay, the Rams once again dominating the headlines. Welcome back, everybody. What's up, William? How we doing? What's up, Kellen Jones, Cass Carver? Yeah, I know I was late because I'm trying to start the thing and it wouldn't start. That's why it was so glitchy at the beginning. See, I told you, folks. I need to get a faster laptop. That's where we're at right now. So eventually, I'm gonna have once I get the super fast laptop and I don't have to worry about CPU being an issue. I'm gonna have it on no latency, so I'll be able to stream without. Because I can tell you right now, the connection we have is really good here at the office. It's Ethernet. I get about 40 upload, so we don't have an issue there. It's more so, with my computer. So once I get that fixed, or not fixed, but once I get a new computer, and this computer is great, but once I get an upgrade, I'm going to do no latency, so we're not going to have any sort of delays. When I'm talking to you, you'll hear it is when I'm talking to you over here. So, really, it's a fast MacBook. I'm not hating on Mac at all. I'm a big fan. But it's from 2017. They added the new, what is it, the metal chip or whatever. I don't know. I need something faster at some point. That's not my first purchase though. We're gonna we're gonna focus on the upgrading the camera, and this camera's great. But at some point we're gonna get a new camera. Maybe when that stimmy hits, and then we'll see slowly but surely. But yeah, what's up, folks? How we doing? What's up, Rams House? How's it going, Steven? And Borden from Germany. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. Appreciate that. Sell you the helmet. It's 140 on Amazon, folks. You can go and grab the helmet on Amazon. Yeah, I need RAM. I mean, that's the problem is I went to upgrade it, and this is the first model of MacBook Pros that they don't allow you to update it. So, what's up, Ruiz? How we doing? Yeah. So that's why. What's up, Galaxy? Eric, how we doing? I have to talk about something in regards to this. Jared Goff. I have to talk about a reporter on NFL Network, Mike Silver. And I've been seeing, Mike Silver was actually having commentary with some Rams fans today earlier on Twitter. And, I get he's from Cal, and I'm not knocking his reporting. But earlier today, somebody, a friend of mine, Justin O, we'll call him, because I didn't get permission to use his last name. So Justin O on Twitter, if you're here, you know who you are. But he was talking with, Mike Silver. And Mike Silver said, basically, about Jared Goff. He was giving him his thoughts and how he felt it wasn't just a mobility issue, it was more mental. What's up, Trevor? How we doing? So Justin basically said it's not a mobility issue only, it's also a mentality issue. So mentally he doesn't feel like Goff is focused or not there, what have you. He's fallen off. And then Mike Silver commented with basically along the lines of, developing Goff, and he said, is that McVay's job, isn't it? Or something along the lines. I'm going to pull it up right now so I can see exactly what he said. I don't want to misquote him, but I do want to bring that up. Hold on one second. So, okay. So in this, because I quote tweeted him, anybody that follows me probably saw it, because I was like, this is, it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah. So he said it's Sean's job to develop him right, question mark. And Justin, okay, Orisic_Justin. So I guess I can say his last name since it's on there. He said, as an investment, Mike, not paid production. All right. So like basically Michael Silver responded to Justin's comment with they paid him. And so Justin said, as an investment, Mike, not paid production. They gambled on development and it backfired. If you watch him every snap the last 2 years, there's serious mental impediment there. It's not even a lack of mobility issue. This is deeper. And so Michael commented with, it's Sean's job to develop him right. And so I think there's this common misconception here that Jared Goff is supposed to, Sean McVay is supposed to be Jared Goff's hand holder. And that's not the case. That's not his job. Sure, was he brought in to also help Goff develop? Sure. Could we also say he did his job by now? We also can say that. Why? Well, look at what happened when Sean McVay found Jared Goff. His rookie year, 0-7, looked abysmal, right? You can say, oh, well, the pieces around him were bad. And he took those same pieces with a little bit extra help, and he turned a 4-12 squad into an 11-5 squad, and that was Sean McVay. So I don't agree with that at all, because it's this idea that Sean McVay is supposed to develop Goff. Sean McVay tried. Sean McVay did. He's way better than he was in 2016. Am I wrong with that? I mean, even if you take Goff right now, he is way better than he was his rookie year. So this idea, and Michael Silver, it's not just directed at Michael Silver. I've seen it. It's not McVay's job to babysit Goff and keep him on the path to success. Jared Goff in year 5 shouldn't have much development left. He's in year 5. It's getting old. And the Rams are sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sure you guys are sick of it. So, okay, here's where we're at right here. Is that, Silver says that, and then I come back with I come back with my quote tweet on Twitter. You can follow me at JKBogan DTSN. I follow back. Just shameless plug there. And I come back with a quote tweet of my own. In year 5, Goff shouldn't have to be developed much further. He was on the cusp of being great in 2018 and fell off. Wolford came in, first ever start. He ran the offense better than Goff has this year. I think the glass broke, and McVay realized there's not a drop-off with these two. He needs mobility. So that's where we're at right now, okay? That is where we're at right now. And, I just kind of feel like we have placed Sean McVay on this pedestal, but at the same time, we've placed him with this kind of anchor around his, let's say, his ankle. And the anchor represents everybody thinking that Sean McVay's job is to babysit Jared Goff and turn him into a superstar. His job is to win football games. And so if anyone thinks he hasn't done his job, I don't know what to tell you. Sean McVay has done it. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice already. This is great. Sean McVay has done his job. I want him to keep doing his job, and I want to eventually win a Lombardi. But you can't say Sean McVay turning a team that went 4-12, and we won't even talk about the Sosar era, how bad they were. He took that team 11-5, 13-3 in the Super Bowl in his second year. Then they missed the playoffs at 9-7, would have made it in today's format. And then they make it this year, and they win the first round of the playoffs with injuries. So all sorts of injuries. And then they almost, in Green Bay, they almost win. They had 2 possessions where they were down by a touchdown, and they almost win that game. 2 possessions in the fourth quarter. They had an opportunity. Now, it's not to say Jared Goff is trash. First off, I'm sorry, folks. I hate the word trash when you're talking about players. I think, 1, we have to have more respect when we're evaluating talent. 2, these guys are way better than us. 3, when you look at what these players are, if, like, I always was told, Brian Scalabrine, he used to be kind of the butt of jokes, But if you really think about it, Brian Scalabrine could take you one-on-one and destroy you in a game of basketball. These guys are professionals. They're not built like us. We need to stop calling everything trash. That's my advocate thing that I'm going to say. So I actually don't think Goff is a bad quarterback. I think he's top 24 in the league, maybe top 20. I think that the Rams have 2 starting quarterbacks on the roster. And today, when this report comes out that the Rams are going to have a quarterback competition with Goff and Wolford if Goff is not traded, I sit there and I'm like, I told you guys, Goff's out. He's gone. He's long gone. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, well, Jake, you might be jumping the gun a little bit, right? You don't think he's going to compete and use that competitive fire he has and beat out Wolford? No. No. And here's why. Number 1 overall pick, deemed the face of the franchise, hasn't had a losing season since his rookie year, and he didn't even start half the games his rookie year. Jared Goff is not going to sit there and look over at John Wolford and say to himself, yeah, this is fair. Yeah, okay, I have to earn my job against him. No, he's not going to do that. Jared Goff is not happy with this situation. His agent is not happy with this situation. There's no way. It is not happening. So with that being said, what I took away from today is that by the Rams coming out and admitting that, by having this report even leak in the first place, there's a few things that I learned today. They like John Wolford. Their liking of him was legit, and he opened up their eyes. So that's the first thing. Second thing, Jared Goff is no longer the franchise face. We already pretty much knew that, but now this is out there. Number 3, the Rams have soured on Jared Goff, which kind of goes with number 2. Number 4, the Rams are okay with going with John Wolford next season as the starter. And number 5, they're trading Jared Goff. They're trading Jared Goff. They know that. So John Wolford, and I said this on Twitter, John Wolford's not a jag. He's not just a guy. He's not. I'm telling you, he's not just a guy. Bortles is just a guy. I don't even think Bryce Perkins is just a guy. I don't think my guy Renee, I see you in the comments. I have to respectfully disagree there. I don't think they're trying to light a fire under Goff. I think he's gone. You know, sometimes when you poke the bear so much, you know, the bear can only take so much before, you know, it chomps at you. Sean McVay's been poked. Not just poked, like prodded, like stabbed, like all around the league. He's losing his coaches, okay? And he is all for, you know, that coach mobility. He actually he's spoken out about it. He's in favor of it, all of that. But what I'm telling you is that Sean McVay is getting tired of everything going on. He's tired of losing. He's ready to win a Super Bowl. He's thinking, like, this is ridiculous. I handpicked the defensive coordinator that turned our defense into number 1 in the league. He's tired of the fact that he's getting blamed. He's constantly taking blame. And he's sitting there thinking, wow, we had a really good game plan, and Goff turned the ball over 4 times against Miami, and that's why we lost. But I'm not going to say that. I can't say that. We're paying him all that money. And when he gets those, you know, questions, you know, from, you know, reporters, did you ever consider benching Jared Goff? What's he going to say? You know? And so I think Sean, it's not that Sean can't develop Goff. It's that he probably already feels like he has. Goff's taken a step back, and now it's starting to kind of get in his way. I can bail you out here and there, but I can't bail you out all the time. I can give you my car. I can give you a ride. I can pick you up. I can't do it every time. I can't be your taxi driver. So that is, I think, what's going on here is that McVay's tired of it, and I think it's starting to trickle down. It will trickle up into the front office. And at the end of the day, I think that's really ultimately, you know, John Wolford is the catalyst, in my opinion, for this happening because, you know, shout out to John Wolford. If he doesn't do this, If he doesn't play the way he did, if he doesn't look the way he did, if he wasn't as confident, if he wasn't, as mobile, as quick with the ball, then none of this happens. But I think McVay understands the trends of the game. They beat a trend. Brandon Staley, using all those, inverted cover 3 disguises and just absolutely being crazy with his defensive adjustments. The light boxes, him and Vic Fangio. The Broncos, I said this, the Broncos and the Rams led the league this past year and having the lightest boxes in the league. They didn't stack the box. That's why guys were able to fly to the ball. But my point, again, is that Sean McVay is ahead of the curve. So once again, Sean McVay is looking and saying, I see Patrick Mahomes is about to win his second Super Bowl, potentially. I see that, it's mobility is huge, folks. If you don't have it, you need an elite pocket passer. And I'll tell you right now, Goff isn't an elite pocket passer. He was getting there in 2018, and he took a step back. And I honestly, you could say Gurley, you can say Goff fell, or McVay fell off. You can say all that, but I think it all comes back down to Jared Goff. Jared Goff is as good as Jared Goff's going to be. And, if he's in his head, that's a concern. I really do wonder, it may not always show, but I wonder if that Super Bowl wrecked him. Because I've said it before on here, and I'll say it again, Super Bowls are not designed for the winner and then the runner-up. Super Bowls are designed for a winner, and then the loser is like given a death sentence for the next year. Unless you're the Patriots. So, what is up, folks? Let's see here. You agree with me, Rams House? Yeah. I just, I understand if you support Goff. I don't have an issue with you. I'm just telling you like it is. I'm not going to beat around the bush. If you're about to order that brand new Goff jersey, you might not want to do that. So, let's see here. Now, I did want to discuss Matt Stafford because, I think as far as quarterbacks that could play for the Rams, I might rule out Deshaun Watson on this live stream. I'm not feeling as confident with Deshaun Watson, nor do I want to give up that much, to be honest with you. I think that they could, and I wouldn't be shocked. But I don't know. I'm trying to be realistic here. And Aaron Rodgers, he's probably going to go back to Green Bay. The way they came back and shut that down, everybody on all parties, I don't think he's going to go to the Rams. Not this year anyway. And they told us that they're okay with starting John Wolford with today's news. Big news if you're a Wolford fan. And then, Matthew Stafford, who is available, he's 100% available. The other guys were like, we don't really know, but no, we definitely know with Wolford. So, where we're at right now is that we have Matthew Stafford. We have a draft pick, whoever that could be. Who are you guys thinking right now? If I gave you the baton and you had to make the right decision to pass it on to either a Stafford or even Goff, like who would you go with? Who do you think is going to be the LA Rams quarterback in 2021? We got 2 Stafford, Hurts, Wolford, Goff. I like the Hurts mention. That's creative. Wolford should have Fitzmagic is a free agent. Stafford, Watson, Wide receiver, Goff, Watson. Jake, do you think the Lions take on Goff and his contract for picks so we can get Matt Stafford? They could. Wolford, Trey Lance. For what the choices are: Wolford, Rodgers, Goff, Wolfman, Wolford, Stafford, Wolford, Watson, Wolford, Minshew, Lance, Tebow, Trask, Stafford, Lance, Wolford, Darnold, Rodgers, RG3, Minshew, Taylor Heineke, Trey Lance. Yeah, I got myself all hyped for Trey Lance, to be honest with you. I think he's I'm going to be honest, the best move for the Rams to go with, you either go with, well, here's what I would say. You either go with Minshew, who, I mean, at worst would cost you a third-round pick, probably a fourth round. So Minshew, and then you have a battle between him and Wolford. Or you go with you trade up, use the Goff trade to get assets. You trade up, you get a guy like Trey Lance, and you have him sit behind John Wolford. Here's the thing: I think Wolford, if the Rams don't get a Stafford or anybody like that, I think Wolford's going to start. I've said it. There's 0% chance for me that I think Goff starts. 0. I love Jameis. A lot of people know that, but Jameis Winston, I think, is going to sign with the Saints. Don't ask me how, because they have like over 100. They're $100 million over the cap. No, your stream is not glitching out. I did say $100 million over the cap. A little bit more than that. So like $109 million over the cap. The Saints are. Dexter Brock? Oh, you mean Dieter Brock? Or maybe you do mean Dexter Brock. Maybe it's a prospect. I don't know. What's up, William? Tony Banks and Felon. Now, here's the interesting... So here's the interesting thing about Jamie Newman that I wanted to talk about. I'm going to say this. Okay, I don't think Jamie Newman is going to grade out well in the film. I do have access to the Senior Bowl tape, and I've been watching that because I got virtual credentials. I've been there the last 3 years, but I couldn't make it this year because, with everything going on. So, I was watching, and I thought Jamie Newman looked pretty good, honestly. I mean, granted, it's practice, but I don't know. The ball came out well. He looks like he had, complete command, and I think the thing with Jamie Newman is he played in that Wake Forest offense that may have kind of overdone it with, they definitely overdid it with the read option, the RPOs. Let me see if I can add a Jamie Newman highlight to this. Let's see here. Because I want to show you what I'm seeing. If I can, I will. I'm not a big Sam Ehlinger fan. I feel like he's kind of a late round pick. And if the Rams draft anybody, I don't really want like a late round quarterback, Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to iCloud, storing all my videos and everything. Psh. I think that's one of my least favorite things about a Mac. All right, so let's see here. So Jamie Newman, we're going to put this thing up. Nope, not that. Okay. So you see that mesh point, though? There's something really weird. Like, I don't know if it's Jamie New. I'm hoping it's not Jamie Newman, but I think it's more so the like when he was at Wake Forest. Well, look at this again. Look at this mesh point. It's just really weird. Watch like the way he like. I've never even seen that before. You tell me if you've ever seen that before. That's like the weirdest mesh point I've ever seen. I have some other ones. So let's see here. We got. This is part of the video I'm eventually going to do on Jamie Newman, so that's why I have like clips already. Jordan Love would be interesting. I'm not saying I would do it, but now, okay. So here's some good, because I don't want to just trash Jamie Newman. I'm going to show you, well, as soon as iCloud gets everything going. Okay, so you guys have seen that weird mesh point. I'm not going insane. Like, you guys have seen that. Okay. So I like this. Here's the improv skill. I guess we're going to freeze on you. I'll replay that. I do like how he gets out and he makes the throw there. Let's see some other ones. Because, I mean, look, I think Jamie Newman, as far as, I don't think he has the film. I think he probably got a lot better. He probably got a lot better at Georgia. And that's the problem is I don't have that film. He opted out. And watch this. There's some things I like on film with Newman. I mean, this is a great deep ball. The placement's perfect. I mean, it's right where it needs to be. But then we can get into, I have, obviously I didn't want to just trash the guy, but then, we can get into some of the bad stuff that he does, or, I guess the cons. I don't want to call it bad. So let's see here. So this is one of the worst interceptions you'll see. So I'm just not really sure what he's doing here. There's just nobody there. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's a guy there, but it's just not a good throw. It's not a good decision. He does that very often, and he casually will throw. And he doesn't throw with a, he doesn't really rip the ball. There are times, and he shows it on film, where he has velocity if he wants it. But there are times where, he really does have a hard time, stepping into his throw. So again, I really do want to see Georgia film, and unfortunately we can't see that because it didn't happen. He opted out. So that's why Jamie Newman's very interesting to me, because on the film, I think, he's there are times where I'm like, okay, I can see what you guys are seeing, but for the most part, that's what I was seeing, and that was my issue with Newman. But yeah, I've shown you. I mean, this is the guy. This is the guy that this is the guy that I like. Trey Lance. Oh yeah. That's now, I mean, just watch this play. Like, Lance is gonna just run through those two tackles and he's gone. See, this draft is very top heavy on quarterbacks. Very top heavy. So I mean, that's, I disagree. I don't think Trey Lance is less realistic than Watson. We do love ourselves some Trey Lance. He can rip the ball. Absolutely. He really can rip the ball. I love how much velocity he has. I mean, that's important. In the NFL, you're going to have to make that tight window throw. Can you make it? You know? If you can't make it, well, sorry. So, I mean, yeah, Trey Lance is my favorite quarterback in the NFL draft as well. Would 2 seconds get us up to top 10? Unfortunately, no. Because keep in mind that team is trading out of the first round. Kellen Jones. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of coverage. The Rams are constantly in the headlines. Um, it's a good time to be a Rams fan, I guess. If you're a Goff fan, maybe not, but who do I compare Lance to? Well, I just say he's a more fluid thrower of the football than, well, okay. I would say he's a more fluid, pure passer than Cam Newton. So he's a Cam Newton body and not entirely, but he's the closest comparison I think to Cam Newton body wise. But I do have my issues with Cam have always been him as a pure passer, and I don't have those questions with Trey Lance. I love how fluid Trey Lance is in his throwing motion. He's got a really good, in my opinion, he's got really good mechanics, really good release, quick release, and somebody that I feel like he wants to throw first before he runs, but when he runs, man, he can hurt you just as much as he can hurt you with his arm. So, he's definitely my favorite in the draft as far as quarterbacks are concerned. I mean, I wouldn't say you have no chance of getting Zach Wilson. If the teams get all upset about his dad owning JetBlue and all that and saying that he doesn't have the passion, I don't buy into any of that, by the way. But if they do, and he falls, we've seen quarterbacks fall before, I mean, think about the quarterbacks that have fallen before. I mean, besides Manziel, Rodgers fell. Dan Marino fell. I mean, the Steelers passed on him. He went to Pitt. Tyrod Taylor at this point in his career, I've always been a big Taylor fan, but I just don't think he's it anymore. He's a solid backup, but the Rams don't need a backup. Just go back in time and draft Mahomes. Yeah, so in 2017, I came out with an article. This is when Mahomes is unknown, and I had the Rams taking Mahomes with their second round pick. And everyone lost their minds. They're like, we don't even have a first round pick. Why would you use our highest pick on a quarterback after Jared Goff? And I said, well, it's very simple. You draft Mahomes in the second round. You have him battle it out against Jared Goff. And whoever wins gets the job. The other one gets traded. So that was that. It wasn't quite when I suggested that, what was it? I suggested a trade between Sammy Watkins to the Lions and the Rams get Darius Slay, and I got death threats from the Lions fans. That was kind of sad. Because, I respect the Lions fans, but I got a ton of death threats from them when I started. I posted that article that I did. I think it was on Ramswire, but it might have been on Downtown Rams. And when I posted that article, I got so much hate. Because they're like, there's no way we're going to trade Darius Slay and we don't want Sammy Watkins. I'm like, all right, no need to, and then I got in the DMs. It was not fun. What's your address? I'm going to come and kill you. Like, yeah, sign me right up. I'll put it right down. Like, I don't know. I don't get people. Yeah, I'm rocking the Sprite. The same one from last night. No, I'm kidding. But, All right, what's going on? How we all doing? Pretty dead in the Discord. Anybody want to come on? First come, first serve. All right. So you got to make sure that. Wow, someone really doesn't like Kellen Mond. I'll drop the Discord link. 1 second. I don't even know what I just did. I think I clicked the FaceTime app. Yeah, that was weird. Okay. So here is the Discord link. That was fast. How we doing?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Not much, my man. How you doing?
Go Rams, go Rams. That's what it is.
Absolutely, Armando. Welcome, welcome.
What's going on?
Well, just sipping on some Sprite, talking to my lovely Rams fans that are in this live stream, and talking ball. What's going on with you?
Well, nothing much. Just basically, yes, my motto.
I think you're cutting out for me. You still there? Yeah, I think I lost you.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me a little bit better now?
Yeah, you keep cutting out though.
About that.
It sounds like you have a noise gate on. Like it cuts you off really quickly, like and abruptly. So I don't know if you have a noise gate on or anything like that.
Yeah. Apologies. Doing this all by my phone.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Are you on like LTE or something? If you're not connected to Wi-Fi, it'll like skip out a little bit. Um, Playing with an apple, drinking Sprite. Oh, what's up, Glenn? I see you. What did you just say? Jake, what NBA jersey are you sporting? We're talking football. Yeah, but I gotta keep up with the trend, right? Been rocking the jerseys. Let's see. What's up, Russ? Let's see. Um, you don't think Blythe should come back, SM? I don't know if he's cheap, man. If he's still $1 million, I'll take him. Mond is not good. Man, people are just destroying Kellen Mond. Apparently he's not your favorite prospect. Olden Polynice. That sounds familiar. Yo, Jake, what's up, brother? Question, where are you from? And how did you originally become a Rams fan? How did you get to where you are now? 3 questions. I like it. So, as we wait for Armando to get his stuff in order, I am from upstate New York. So I'm from upstate New York. The reason I'm a Rams fan, my dad grew up. He was actually neighbors with not Jack but Jim Youngblood, and kind of raised me to be a Rams fan. I've been a Rams fan ever since. So that's that. And how did I get to where I am? I'm nowhere near where I know I can be. Um, and I mean, I have a long way to go, but I'll say as far as where I am right now, I guess I just, kind of just improvised because sometimes life is going to throw like just straight up curveballs at you, and you're going to have to be able to make contact with them. And it's going to be strange as hell. I mean, I dropped out of college, and you know, like I don't know, things just haven't gone according to plan. I was supposed to be in LA by now, and I'm not. And things couldn't be any better right now. I have my own setup here. You guys know I lease this office with my cousin. We do the AJ show every Saturday, and I get to use it whenever I want. Talk to you guys, have a better setup. So I don't know, man. I just think pretty much I got here because I didn't stop working hard, no matter how depressed I got. And trust me, I've gotten very depressed. No matter how far away my goals seem or anything like that. But trust me, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. We got to 2,000 subscribers. I picked up YouTube, not even 2 months ago. So, I mean, I really appreciate you guys getting me there. But I mean, I don't plan on stopping. Like, I mean, this is just the start. This is literally like I've had this YouTube account since like I think week 13 or 14 of the NFL season. Like I have so much more I can do, and I didn't start streaming until the Rams season was over. So I think I'm going to start. I mean, obviously I've been streaming every night. I've done I think 10, 11, 12 streams in a row. I don't know. You guys probably should keep track cuz I'm not going to remember that. But yeah, the streaming's going well. You guys are a very responsive and loyal community, so I'm going to keep at it, and we'll see how far we go. But I mean, I don't plan on stopping at all. I'm only going to get better. So that's that. Do I have you, Armando?
Nice. Yeah, yeah, you got me, brother. I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
Over here in Lynn. But wait and stuff. My fault. We should be talking about Rams football. That's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah. So
All right, brother.
so I guess we'll start. Either you have a question for me, or I have a question for you. I mean, which?
Yeah. So first off, how just to start off real quick, I wanted to ask you a couple things.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you had to say, if you had to say real quick,
Mm-hmm.
just to start off as a Ram fan,
Yeah.
and you probably get this a couple times from here and there. But if you had to say, if you had to rank your most loyalist Ram, your most underrated Ram, best Ram ever, best coach, and your most draft bust for a Ram. Which one of those players do you think you could probably go for before we get into all the quarterback talk and all the golf talk?
Yeah. I'm not gonna remember all that, so you might have to shout it back to me the first.
I
So let's break it down.
got you,
So,
brother.
so the first one you said loyal.
Yeah, if you had to remember the most loyalist Ram, probably from the St. Louis days back in the, or even now with even with McVay, like who would you say was the most loyalist Ram that you can remember?
So as far as loyal, I'd probably say, hmm, that's a good question. I mean, they're definitely well. I'll say Leroy Irvin. I think Leroy Irvin didn't
Respect.
stop. Yeah, he didn't stop. Following the Rams when they went to St. Louis, and he doesn't stop following them now. And this is somebody that no matter who wears 47, he wants them to be the best. And he says, I just hope they break all my records. And it's he's like, I'm a fan now. So yeah, I'd probably say Leroy Irvin. Honorable mention Roland Williams, because he is
Hmm.
super into the Rams. I've had him on my show as well. He's a great guy. And then maybe another honorable mention I'll go with. Um, well,
Oh, come on, man. There's one that I think personally, and I'm 20 years old, but I think personally, when you think of Jackie Slater, man, back in those days when my when our dad was a Ram fan, Jackie Slater, the how many years did he play? Eight-time
well,
Pro Bowl or seven-time Pro Bowl or something like that?
well, yeah. I mean, I was talking more like loyal as far as like still aligns with the team. But if you're talking about the most loyal Ram based on how long he played, there's only
Yeah, I
one
saw that. Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's only one guy. Jackie Slater played 20 years with the
Jackie
Rams,
said,
and he only
of
played with the
course.
Rams. So yeah, I mean, it'd have to be
Mm,
Jackie Slater.
mm.
DeMarco Farr is definitely somebody I would say as well. To the other,
Oh, most definitely.
you know, he's still
All
with the
right. Now,
team.
if you had to say the most greatest coach to ever coach the Rams, in your opinion, who would you pick?
The greatest coach,
Mm-hmm.
Dick
Yes, sir.
Vermeil, because Dick
Steve Vermeil.
Vermeil wasn't there long. But if
Yeah.
Dick Vermeil kept going, they would have kept winning Super Bowls. I have no doubt.
Oh, most definitely. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. I think so too. All right. Now, if you had to say who's your greatest Ram, like if you want somebody that doesn't know about football, maybe doesn't even know about the Rams, who are you going to show them to represent what you think the Rams are? Who would you show?
I mean, the greatest Ram is. I mean, I think you have to say Aaron Donald, but I mean, there's so many guys.
Oh, that's mine. That's mine. That's definitely mine as well.
i-
That's definitely mine as well.
It's tough because there's so many guys. I mean, Merlin Olsen. I actually talked to his brother Phil.
Oof.
He came on my show, and he actually played with the Rams. So, he's not just a brother. He actually used to line up with Merlin on the line. But Merlin Olsen's a guy. Very. Was there for like what 14? Well, he was there for a lot longer. He had 14
Oh yeah,
Pro Bowls or something crazy like that. Um,
yeah.
so Merlin Olsen. Eric Dickerson's up there. I think Marshall Faulk's up there. I mean, talk about a guy that was a total catalyst for the greatest show on turf. Kurt Warner.
Mm.
Um, I'd probably say, and here's an underrated one, Elroy Hirsch, because people don't realize he was so huge. Crazy Legs Hirsch. I talked about him the other
Crazy
night.
Legs Hurst, yeah.
He was
Crazy Leg Hurst.
he was so huge to
He was
not
good at
only
tight end.
win that championship in 51, but what people don't
Mm.
realize is that Crazy Legs Hirsch actually orchestrated the trade to get Roman Gabriel and I believe to get Deacon Jones because he was the general
Oh
manager as
wow.
well. So, yeah, he's very important in Rams
Oh,
history for
respect.
sure.
I learn something new every day. I didn't even know about that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, if you had to say the most underrated Ram that you think that doesn't probably get the most credit as a player, as a Ram, as people should probably look a little bit more on when he played, who would you say for that player?
Man, that's a tough one. I mean,
Me personally, I think a lot of people sleep on Steven Jackson.
oh, yeah.
Just the way this man, like I remember watching him. I know I was a little young. I was probably I want to say like 14, 15 when he was like in his mid-season with the Rams. But I remember just watching this man play, and oh God, if he was with the Rams now, or hell, if he was even with the Raiders on turf, this oh God, he's already the rushing leader, and him being the rushing leader for our franchise, even with that bad Jeff Fisher team and with Mark Bulger and all them boys, it's a shame that we had to let his talent kind of go to waste. But knowing him, I think personally, in my opinion, that's one of the most underrated Rams to ever play the game. And ironically, I got a signed jersey by him that I'm very blessed to have.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with you there. I think Steven Jackson. And people are asking me where I'm from, so I'm just gonna say I'm from Clifton Park, New York. So it's like
Oh,
five
respect.
5 or 6 hours away from Buffalo. So
How are you? And I heard from your last one of your videos, you're a Golden Knights fan and a Yankee fan. Ah, man, that kills me. How are you a Golden Knights fan and a Yankee fan?
well, okay, so
Hey, respect to you, though, respect to you, brother. You
yeah,
like you like different teams. I like it. I have a bunch of friends that are like that too.
yeah, I have like three teams right now in hockey, but the Golden Knights are my favorite. Here's the thing is my father didn't raise me as like a hockey fan. So
Mm,
when I was forced to pick a team, which is when we would play like NHL '98 or whatever, I
mm,
just picked one based on. Keep in mind, I was born in '95, so I was like 3 years old playing video games with my father, and I
yeah.
just picked my favorite color. And my favorite color was red, so I picked the Red Wings, and I followed the Red Wings
Mm,
for years. And then they started trading away everybody, and they got rid of our young players, and I was just kind of over it. So at the same time, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna move on from this team. It felt weird because they're an original six team, but I did it because the Vegas Knights became a thing, and I wanted to jump on a bandwagon that didn't actually
yeah.
exist yet. So it was really fun. I got to watch my first expansion draft. Um, I didn't really understand it because I was still trying to get back into hockey. I had kind of lost my way
Mm,
after the Red Wings traded away everyone. And
Yeah, most definitely.
I really followed the draft, and I got really into it, and I love the players, and they added some really key players, guys like Jonathan Marchessault and Shea Theodore, and Shea Theodore
Mm-hmm.
probably pisses off some people in the comments because he's from Anaheim, but we
Yeah,
we poached him from Anaheim. But anyway, just a bunch of guys that I really have started to follow the team. And the first year was magical. They almost win the Stanley Cup, and then
yeah.
they haven't gotten back since, but they've looked really good. They've been in the playoffs every year of their existence, so 3 years in a row. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. They just give me joy. I love watching them. I love gold. And I was actually in Vegas before their season started, so that was also cool seeing the locals. And
Yeah.
then I also like Edmonton because I just fell in love with like Leon Draisaitl, McDavid, uh, Ryan Nugent Hopkins. I just loved watching them play. And then I'm pretty close, not that close, but I'm 3 hours away from the Devils. So I saw a bunch of Devils games with my buddy Kyle, and I kind of have a soft spot for the Devils where I root for them. Since they don't really ever play my two
Yeah.
top
Yeah.
teams. So yeah, that's kind of how I did had that, but um, you know,
Yeah, me coming from, I'm originally, I was born in California.
hold on a
I
sec.
raised, how I was, oh yeah, go
I think I unplugged. I When I swung my hand, I was like, wait a minute, I can't hear you anymore because I unplugged my mic.
ahead. No, no, you're good.
All right, that was
Um,
stupid.
yeah, so for me, originally, I was born and raised in California, uh, and then moved a little bit, growing up, moved to Las Vegas. So I kind of know a lot of Golden Knight fans, definitely a lot of Raider fans here. Kind of sickening to my stomach, but it is what it is. It's hard. You don't
Yeah,
really get to see a lot of Ram fans out here. I mean, but we have a lot of Ram fans everywhere, man. We have everywhere from other continents, from different states. But
man, we took
um,
over a Rams bar in Clifton Park. You know,
oh, respect.
yeah, like I mean, now it was with COVID, we just all got Game Pass or whatever and watched at our house. But
Yeah,
yeah, a year ago we used to have this bar that we would go to, and it was like Steelers fans and Rams fans. So it was like a Steelers Rams bar. It was really cool actually. And then like it would be funny. Giants fans would come in and be like, try to watch the game on there. I'd be like, you literally have the game on cable. We're coming here because we don't have the game on cable. What are you doing? Like
exactly,
it's like, and then they'd want it on the big
exactly.
screen, and it's like, bro, it's on
Hmm.
at home. Like, are you kidding me right now? It was funny. The Rams actually played the Steelers, and then that bar that we would go to, they had. I'm not even kidding you. They had a pickleball tournament in at the bar, and they wouldn't allow us to watch the game. So I never went back to the bar. But anyway, that's. I still can't believe that happened. But yeah. So so yeah, I mean, there's Rams fans all over the place, and you said underrated Rams. So I mean, I'd probably agree with you with
Yeah.
Steven Jackson. On
Another one I would say too. Oh, sorry for cutting you off, brother.
No, you're good.
Another one, just real quick. I would think James Laurinaitis. I think a lot of people might. They probably wouldn't put him in there. I think personally, James Laurinaitis when he was with us, didn't play as long with the Rams. Oh no, actually, kind of
He
did. I
played a
can't
while.
really remember. He could have played a while, but I think personally, with him being our linebacker, I think he honestly and just kind of too at the ending point of just, or actually in the beginning point of Aaron Donald's career, he just was in there too with us, so that was always good to see. But I think James Laurinaitis also would be probably underrated Ram that many people probably don't talk about. That was a big personal favorite in my opinion as a Ram.
Yeah, I obviously I was a big Laurinaitis fan. Denari Alexander I thought was underrated. I mean, we didn't really get
Mm-hmm.
a chance to see what he could do until he got to the Chargers because Jeff Fisher caught him
Yeah,
because he was a bozo. But there are guys like that. Kevin Curtis, I'd probably say, is up there. Pretty recent guys I'm talking about. Um,
yeah.
as far
Even though it's
as
Jenkins, I would have loved seeing a little bit more too. If we would have
yeah,
signed him, that
yeah.
would have been nice. But it is what it is.
Well, and I'll say, like even further back, Coy Bacon never gets credit. He had like 18 and a half sacks or something crazy. Like they never really counted sacks, but people have gone back and recounted them.
Yeah.
He had a monster
Mm-hmm.
season when he went to the Redskins, but um, Coy Bacon, if you don't know him, he was a reserve. Oh, not a, I don't like calling him a reserve. He was a rotational defensive lineman on that fearsome foursome team. So it
Mm-hmm.
was Lamar Lundy, Rosie Greer, And then you had,
Yeah. Olsen,
Merlin
Deacon
Olsen
Jones.
and
Yeah.
Deacon Jones, and then you had there's another guy that I'm forgetting with, but uh,
Isaiah Robertson, maybe.
well, he was a linebacker. He
Oh yeah,
actually
he was on my. Yeah.
that was tough because
Which another person too, I think, 8-time Pro Bowler, not 7-time, 8-time Pro Bowler. I think a lot of people don't talk about. Which personally, I think too, he's the second time all All Pro, 2-time All Pro team in the NFL. I think personally he should be. I think he kind of got snubbed in the Hall of Fame. He doesn't really have one, which I think. I mean, there's just so many, man. There's so many Rams that a lot of people don't know about, and like if you look back and you look at these, it's crazy to see like, wow, these are some guys that probably should be in the Hall of Fame, and just some of them aren't.
yeah, and that's why like I go back and I like I used to do articles and stuff on that because I
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah,
I feel like the younger generation doesn't know as much about the history because I've said before I don't feel like the NFL pushes it enough. So I went
oh yeah,
back and I saw Coy Bacon and I was like, man, Coy Bacon's good. Like he doesn't get any credit. And then he had
mm-hmm.
the run with the Redskins, and they're like, no wonder why he left because everyone was talking about Lamar Lundy and Rosie Greer, but I'm like, Bacon might have been better
Yeah,
than both of them. Like,
mm-hmm.
so I'd probably say he's one of the more underrated. I'd say Roman Gabriel. Someone mentioned him.
Yeah.
1611 mentioned Roman Gabriel, OJ Atogwe, Justin Orsak. Hey, Justin, I mentioned you earlier. I don't know if you're still here. I hope you are because I think you just put OJ Atogwe. But I mentioned you earlier in the conversation you were having with Mike Silver. So I'm you acted. I thought you were spot on, and then Mike Silver gave you kind of like a nudge with his response, and I was basically saying how I completely disagreed with the fact that it was Sean McVay's job to turn Goff into whatever he was. But anyway, thanks. Appreciate it. So, okay, Armando, what were the other questions you have for me?
No, yeah, just one more. So yeah, so you
Mm-hmm.
kind of basically got most of all of them. Now the last two I got. Who would you say would be the Rams? The Rams like worst draft bust, like the worst draft bust that you can remember. That you think the Rams when we got them, you were like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a good one. But then it just didn't end up going the way we probably wanted it to. Like, who would you say would probably be our draft bust?
Well, as the question of yours kind of evolved, because I had multiple names pop in my head. First off, I had Jason Smith
Almost definitely.
because I don't know how the
Hmm.
hell you draft Jason Smith. I didn't like him as a prospect, and I was little. So now looking back, I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, I really don't like him as a prospect. And then Greg Robinson to pick him
Oh yeah.
over all
Ooh.
those guys, over Aaron Donald, over Khalil Mack, over Blake Bortles. I mean, I know Blake Bortles didn't end up becoming anything like special, but I was pretty high on him.
Yeah.
I don't I couldn't understand that. Tavon Austin was kind of a bust in a sense. I mean, he was a bust. It's a bummer.
Up for debate. I'll put that heads or tail. I'll put a flip a coin on one. He was good, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, because
Well,
at that time, that's also when we had Seven Bailey, a little bit too many short right receivers, and I knew what Jeff Fisher was trying to do. He was trying to make this kind of a really passing type Rams team at that time, but it didn't work out.
yeah, I mean, I love Tavon. I've met him. He's a special dude, very, very nice guy. But what I'll say is that, Tavon was drafted to be the number one receiver. And we've
Hmm.
seen guys do it. We've seen like Deshaun Jackson was able to do it, with his size. And unfortunately, Tavon wasn't. And so for that reason, I do think he was a bust because he's, the eighth overall pick in that draft. The Rams traded up to get him. And in that same draft, DeAndre Hopkins went later on. So,
Yeah.
I definitely think he was a bust. It's just, it's a bummer because he's a bust for where he was drafted. If they got him in like say the third or fourth round, I think he lived
Yeah.
up to the hype. But trading up in the first round to get him eighth overall, I was super hyped, and he just never lived up to the potential. Really bummer because he's one of my favorite players.
Yeah, and I know some people would say Sam Bradford, but I don't think you couldn't fault Sam Bradford for what
I
was going
mean,
on. I mean, yeah, there
you
was
can though,
injuries, and it's just
but
you can't. Yeah, I feel
because
like injuries,
well,
and it's
well,
the football. This
what I'll
NFL, man. I
say,
mean,
with that with Sam Bradford is that he was drafted in 2010. The year prior,
mm,
Matthew Stafford was drafted number one overall. Matthew
Yeah,
Stafford is going to leave the Lions in his 12th year in the NFL. Sam
yeah.
Bradford has been gone from the Rams for a while now. So,
For a while, yeah,
for we're talking about 6 years. So, I mean, I think you absolutely can say that. I mean, Sam Bradford was a bust because of the injuries, but still, even still, I mean, I was a big supporter of his. I didn't think he should have been drafted. I thought they should have drafted Sue, but I was a big supporter, and I realized that they didn't really put great weapons around him. Frank Signetti, Boris, none of those guys were it, and Schottenheimer for the love of God. So I just don't think they had great offensive coordinators. Although I will say,
yeah,
I think I want to say in 2013 things were coming together, and he tore his ACL in that Carolina game. It was never that ruined everything because I really do
yeah,
feel like if you go back and you look at Sam Bradford's statistics, they were buried because Peyton Manning was having his 55 touchdown season. But the problem with that is that Bradford was playing very well, and he kind of gets overlooked because how good Peyton Manning was that year. He was arguably second in like all statistics. So I don't know. It was definitely a bummer there. Because I
yeah,
think Bradford was onto something, and Mike Mitchell, who I will never respect because of that, tearing his ACL, that was always a big issue. The Texans
yeah.
hired David Culley. Who was that? Who was David Culley? Do you know who David Culley is?
Uh, you have a better guess than I would have.
Okay, he's the wide
David Kelly, he's a
wide receivers
yeah,
coach for the
remaining overnight.
Ravens.
Yeah, I guess so.
He
I don't
is.
know. There's a lot of. I mean, it's always good to see new names. I would say for some teams because, when I heard before Staley got the job at the Chargers, they were saying they're going to interview Jason Garrett. And I'm just like, come on, man. I mean, personally, I wouldn't want to see a Jason Garrett for the Chargers. They're already little brother as is, and imagine having Jason Garrett with Herbert. I don't see that personally happening. Maybe you might have a different opinion. We'll just leave it at that. But I love to see new names. And I think the Rams are good right now with Raheem Morris and McVay,
Oh, I do
and
too.
a lot of and it's even more surprising because I think one of our coaches are got a job for the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks, if I'm not mistaken. Not sure who that was, or looking into joining the Seahawks. Um, but I think with Sean McVay, I mean, I don't know what you said with Mike Silver, saying he has to hold Goff's hand. I mean, bro, personally, if you're a Ram fan, if you're truly a Ram fan, and you saw Goff play, you know that he he's being told what to do. Personally, I think he's not a leader. He's just not a leader. When he's good, he's good, but when he's bad, he's bad. And you said it before. We cannot. It's we don't play for that. We don't play for okay. If you're gonna be good, let's hope you're gonna be good. If you're gonna be bad, then gosh damn, you're gonna be really really bad. But we don't play for that. As you said, he is still he's not. I wouldn't go as far as saying is he the worst quarterback ever. No, because 2018, if we had that Jared Goff, oh, most definitely we're going to the Super Bowl this year. If we had 2018 Goff now, most definitely we're going to the Super Bowl. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It was like you said, his best game that he had was against the Vikings in Week 7 or something like that. Personally, I think that game and when he was up against the Saints in the conference championship in the NFC Conference Championship, I think that game too. Just when he would throw the ball, it would come out perfectly. Everyone's always had ups and downs about Goff because of how he was with Jeff Fisher, and they already put him as a bust in the beginning. But then when Sean McVay came in, yeah, he brought his confidence up, but he started losing it. I feel when he found out no Brandon Cooks, no Todd Gurley anymore. He knew that he had to put the team on his back, and it's hard to have that responsibility, especially with a coach like McVay. And McVay, he does some really good plays, but slowly his decline was just going down and down, and it's sad to see that from Goff. And it's just not that leadership that you see from him.
No, I agree, and it's funny because there's people that think I hate Goff, and I actually
Oh yeah,
debated wearing
no.
a Goff jersey tonight, but I decided not to. Um,
Personally, I don't own one. I don't own one just because I don't know why I don't own one. I mean, once Jalen Ramsey came, I got that jersey right away. But I not saying I predict the future that golf was gonna, but it's just something that me personally, I'm just like I don't know if I want. I don't see him being our guy like that, and it's just I wouldn't, you know. That's why when everyone was okay when Wolford was like when Goff came in and Wolford got hurt against the Seahawks, it was just mind-boggling. Because personally, I honestly think the defense you had to pray and hope that if when Donald got hurt, that Goff wouldn't throw an interception or Goff wouldn't mess up. That's the only thing is this, it was Goff, but at the end of the day, you have to also realize that hey, this guy took us to a Super Bowl. This guy brought us to the way who the Rams are now. Has ups and downs, but you know, Silver saying that you have to, you basically, you have to um, practically baby Jared Goff. I don't believe that. You shouldn't have to do that. You
no,
got to
no,
want it, and I feel like
you
Jared Goff
shouldn't.
just doesn't want it.
Yeah, I can't say that he doesn't want it. I feel like, you know,
Or just a lack. I would say a lack of wanting it. A lot. He's just it's a lack. You can definitely tell when he's out there. He's being told what to do, and whatever he's being told what to do, he's just got to do it. I don't think personally he can take the initiative to just drive his team to victory. Because I mean, when you have your own cornerback coming to you and be like, "Bro, settle down. We got this game. Don't just when you have Jalen Ramsey coming to you on the sideline, that shouldn't be. It shouldn't be something that should happen. You're the quarterback of this team. You played with this team for at least 5, 4 years now. You've taken this team to a bowl. You gotta straighten up. And if by this year, obviously, it didn't look like that was happening for him, it's just some things have to change. You have to take the initiative as a quarterback, and I feel like that's just what a lot of people are going to be getting on him for. And obviously, that just didn't happen this year.
I hear you, and it's one of those kind of weird off seasons, when we're talking about a whole different change at quarterback. I mean, we've had this before. There have been times
Oh yeah.
like, could they move on from Jared Goff? I mean, there was even a rumor that went around that the Rams might kick the can and continue go after Tom Brady. And I remember that, and I didn't really think much of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that Sean McVay at least feels as though, I'll say this. Sean McVay at least feels as though he is good enough to win games with other quarterbacks in his system. And Jared Goff was not making his system. There are times Sean McVay does things that you're like sitting there like, did he really just do that? But, I feel like the Wolford thing kind of, goes to that. It's like,
Yeah,
I can get
most
the most
definitely.
out of my quarterbacks, and I don't need we don't need to be salary cap strapped, to a guy that is just we don't need to be salary cap strapped to a guy that's good, average good, around that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Either go out and get a legit guy, or we'll roll with Wolford, or I think the Rams really have to get back to that recipe of getting a guy on a rookie deal, signing him, and and then you have him for 5 years. So you draft the first round quarterback, you have him for 5 years, like a Trey Lance, and then
Mm-hmm.
you can go back to pretty much building around. And that's what the Rams did, and that's I think that's the recipe for success in this league. And I'm not saying don't pay quarterbacks, but when you have the offense that Sean McVay has, I think that you could get away with not doing so, unless they were like superstars. And to be honest with you, if I was the GM right now with what I have with Sean McVay, you put me in with Les Snead, I would trade Jared Goff. I would keep
Mm-hmm.
John
Most definitely.
Wolford. I'd keep Perkins, and I keep Hodges. I'd say battle, and two of you are going to make the roster because I'm going to keep three quarterbacks, and one of you are going to head to the practice squad, and then at the end of that, with the Goff trade, I would kick tires to see what it would take on Matt Stafford. I would see if Aaron Rodgers is available. I'd see if Deshaun Watson, what his price tag was, and at the end of the day, I would try and trade up and get Trey Lance in the draft. I think that's where I'm at. Or
Or if you're, I mean, or I'm from my point, I would if you want a quarterback that fast, we could get somebody like Trey Lance. Or I mean, we still got the next couple of years of college quarterbacks that are even good too. You look at somebody like a DTR, Dorian Thompson Robinson from UCLA, or Keaton Slovis, or like a Kellen Mond. And that I don't know. People can hate on Kellen Mond, but I mean, a lot. That's how it kind of starts with some players, and then everyone has a, you know, a lot of people will say this about a player, and then obviously they'll shine in the future. So, there are a lot of good quarterbacks too that are King from Miami too. That guy is heading into his senior year, I believe, or third year with the Gators. So I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks too, even the following year. So I mean, if you're the Rams, you have a lot of, I mean, you have a lot you can do. You have a lot of choices how you want to play this, how you want to roll the dice, per se.
yeah, no, you're definitely not kidding there, and I think that's the thing that's so interesting and why we continue to talk about it, is there's so many avenues that they can go. Armando, now let's one final question for you, and I'll try to get someone else on here.
No problem. No problem.
Let's all right. What do you think the Rams do this offseason? Give me 3 predictions this offseason.
Three predictions this off. Three predictions this offseason. What I would say personally, um, I think yes, we move on from Goff. That's the first prediction. I think we move on from Goff. Um, what we do with what we get out of moving on from Goff, I wouldn't know. I would hope to say something crazy if Aaron Rodgers feels the way he feels in Green Bay and doesn't like what's going on, and just feels like he wants to come back home, and that bad man comes back home to Cali and rolls with the Rams. I would be the most that because personally that's my favorite quarterback of all time. That's my favorite quarterback of all time. So him, I would hope we could get. Another prediction, I would hope that we can sign um, D. Will or Floyd back. I would really, really hope we can get those back. We can get rid of all the other guys. Darius Williams, I feel like we need to get that guy back for sure. And Floyd too. With Floyd and Aaron Donald are just something. It helps bring back like when we had with Fowler and Aaron Donald, and you definitely saw that on the field this year with them being the number one defense in pass rush. So that I can definitely see happening. And I'm gonna probably take a long shot for the probably final third one. I would, if not, probably just draft, go high, and just probably trade for a draft pick like get a Trey Lance. But that's high, but I something like that, or probably a different quarterback.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I'm really at the whole the Trey Lance and Gardner Minshew, Matt Stafford route. I think those are my 3 guys, if not Wolford. I'm totally fine with Wolford, by the way. But all right, well, Armando, appreciate you. It's been
Appreciate
fun.
it, man. Hope to be on here again soon, man. It's always good talking Rams talk. I mean, shout out to I don't know. I'm sure Trent from Rams talk. He kind of brought me towards here. If you're a Ram fan, you got to check out Rams talk from Trent.
Yeah,
He's
Trent's
definitely a
awesome.
good person. Yeah, that guy's awesome. So that's kind of I just subscribed to you like 2 days ago. So hearing you a lot more, I'm definitely gonna be looking at your stuff. You bring yeah, I didn't even talk to Leroy Irvin. You talked to all these guys. I'm like, what? How have I not known about this guy sooner? So, yeah, I hope to be on this podcast with you again, brother, because it's good to talk Ram football. Always good to hear from another Ramley.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And appreciate you subbing.
Appreciate you, bro. All right, horns up, brother. Appreciate you.
Horns up. You take care.
You too, brother. God bless. God bless.
All right, folks. That was Armando, and he was a lot of fun to talk to. Now, if anybody is interested in hopping in, let me know. Did I watch Amari Gainer yet? I did not. I'm so sorry, Anthony. Today was a busy day. I missed out on all the stocks. I didn't get in GameStop like I wanted to. I missed out on just everything. So yeah, it wasn't the best day. Did anybody get in on GameStop? Anybody? Did anybody make some money? First one that joined, you have to join the live stream call in, or I can't guarantee that you're going to get in because I can say yes to you, but I don't know who you're going to be. So, whoever wants to get in, make sure they join the live stream call in on, I almost said Twitch. That's not Twitch, Discord. And I'll try to get a few more people. I'm going to head off probably sooner tonight because I've been staying on pretty late. And been going home just way too late. Last night, drove in a snowstorm. Took me about an hour to get home. I live 10 minutes away. It was just, no one plowed the roads. Why are you plowing the roads, right? Crazy. Let's see here. What was I? Okay. Yeah, so come on in if you're interested. Discord's open. Nick Reddit people are trolling hedge funds. No money. Yeah, SPACs didn't do very well.
Hey, my man.
What's up? How we doing?
I'm a German dude, so my English is not the best. I hope it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. M. Borden. Okay, perfect.
I'm from the German Rams podcast.
You're Ramley Radio?
Yes, of course.
Awesome. Well, welcome. I've been seeing you a lot. We've been talking a little bit. You're a good guy and you know your stuff, so I'm happy to have you on here.
Yeah, thank you. We love your work here in Germany too, and we had today a hot take about Jared Goff too.
Yeah, I mean, hey, let's take it from the top. What are your thoughts on the whole Jared Goff thing? Since you say it yourself, and people are having war of words over there. With Jared Goff.
Yeah, true. Yeah, let's see what the offseason brings to the Rams.
Yeah. Now, okay, so I want to ask you. Well, let's first start off. Who's your favorite player in the Rams?
I'm not so long Rams fan. Since the Rams was by Amazon, like All or Nothing, so I like Jake McQuaid because of his bird.
Oh, I like Jake. He has the same name as me, so that's pretty cool. Now, okay, so so Jake McQuaid. Let's see here. So, what is the one thing if the Rams could make any move, what move would you want them to make?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, I think we must move on from Jared. I see no reason why we must stay him.
Move on from who?
From Jared.
Oh, Jared Goff. Okay, sorry. Yeah. It sucks. I mean, I know people would be shocked to hear it, but I don't hate Jared Goff. I actually have I have 2 jerseys of his. Was hoping he would be the guy, and I'll tell you, I don't know 100%. If he's not the guy. But I just feel like right now, Sean McVay is over the whole waiting game. Going into year 5, he has to be sitting there thinking, hey, we should have won 2 Super Bowls by now. This is ridiculous, and it's time to move on. So, plus, keep in mind, Sean McVay didn't sign that contract. Sean McVay does not sign the contracts. Sean McVay isn't the GM. So I think it was run like, I mean, I'm sure he had some input in it, but I'm sure it was also kind of run a little bit past him as well.
100%. We don't hate Goff. Oh, no way. But it's just not pretty to see this anymore longer. It would not be better the next years.
No, I agree. You know, it's you obviously want to see a guy succeed, and it's just not happening with Jared Goff. You know, he's very inconsistent. You know, he wins a playoff game on the road, and you know you have to give him props, but at the same time, you know, you also have to give Seattle props, or you have to give the defense props against Seattle. You know, I thought they did a nice job, you know, going into a hostile environment. You know, obviously they don't love going to Seattle. Seattle was 5-0 under Pete Carroll at home in playoffs, and they win that game. And then they go to Green Bay, and Goff gave them a chance. But at the end of the day, you know, I just think it's enough with the whole, well, you know, he's playing well. Like, McVay's just ready. And I think the way this team is structured, they have to win now because that's how they're structured. You know, paying Donald and Ramsey quarterback money or fringe quarterback money, and then, you know, paying two receivers a lot of money, paying a left tackle a lot of money, and paying Rob Havenstein a lot of money. So, you know, that's kind of where I'm at on that.
Yeah, and what many people doesn't see, Wolford audible games, play games at on the field. We saw this from Jared. No.
Yeah.
And yeah, this crazy one in his first game. He audible, amazing.
Yeah, you know, I think you know, Jared coming in, you know, in the playoffs, Seattle game, having to take over, I thought it was definitely, I mean, look, no one is ever going to question Jared's toughness, and no one's ever going to question Jared's heart, but it's just the inconsistency factor is definitely a legit issue. And I think it's definitely something that, you know, is fair to bring up. So,
yeah, that's the point.
Yeah. Do you have any you have any questions for me, my friend?
I'm interested. How old are you?
How old am I? I'm 25.
Yeah, 25. Oh, you look older.
Oh, wow, I look older. Wow. I never have gotten that before. Like
maybe because of the bird, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I appreciate it. I definitely preferred looking older than younger because I have a baby face.
Okay. No, you look older for me.
Yeah, no. I'm 25. My birthday's in October, same as Goff. I'm 5 days before Goff's birthday. His is 16th, mine's the 11th, and my sister's is the 14th. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know more questions at the moment. I thank you for the short talk, and
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, move on with your work. It's amazing. We love your job here in Germany, and yeah.
Well, hey, this has been really cool. I love putting a voice to the name, and you know, I appreciate you, my man.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And go Rams.
Go Rams. You take care. All right. So that was Ramley Radio from Germany. Fun to talk with him. Anybody else interested in hopping on? I dropped the Discord. Anybody? Just make sure you oh, hold on. I'll come to you, Vought. 1 second. Oh. How we doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I saw you were waiting, so I had to leap over. And I'll
definitely.
I'll be joining Brandon afterwards, but I wanted to, you know, obviously get in here because I saw you were in the waiting room. So,
Oh,
what's up?
oh, nothing much. Just watched, watched the Packers and Rams game and basically just questioning what we're gonna do in the off season.
Yeah, what kind of questions do you have for the off season?
Off season. I know like Andrew Whitworth, he just came off an injury and I'm just wondering how our O line's gonna be. I know he's getting older and I don't want him to get injured again, but we definitely have to find a backup for him. I don't know if we have one that's valuable right now that's not starting, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am higher than the consensus on, I would say, Noteboom. I do like Noteboom. Thought he played well in limited snaps. I thought he got better as a run blocker. Definitely liked his ability in pass pro in the Buccaneers game, going in that game. I did a video on him before that game even happened, just showing his just showing his tape, all 22 against the you know, obviously everything got a little bit more, but yeah, I think after Whitworth, the Rams are gonna have to decide whether Noteboom's the guy or not. I mean, that's where we're at. If they decide he's the guy, then he's the guy. He's been waiting. But if not, and keep this in mind, Noteboom was drafted in 2018. So we're talking if he doesn't start this year, he starts in his last year in his rookie deal. And it's that doesn't always bode well for your pocketbook, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. And I think with all the picks, all the first round and second round picks we gave up, I think we could definitely find someone in the draft because, I feel like McVay and Les Need, they definitely are good at drafting longer players, in later rounds.
I agree with you. Going out and getting guys like Okoronkwo in the fifth, Kaiser in the fifth, Sebastian Joseph Day in the seventh, just to name a few, they definitely nail those picks. And then you look at, say Jordan Fuller, and you look at, Bryson Hopkins in the fourth. I mean, I thought it was a total steal. It should have gone, I think early second. So, yeah, I mean they do a nice job. They really, hit it on the head, and I think that's why they're able to get around their ability of not having so many picks. That's why they're able to withstand that essentially.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. I definitely think long term, I know this is definitely a hot take, but I think we're just gonna have to stick with Goff for the next 3 to 4 years,
Oh
or
wow.
until the contract expires. I really think so, and I really think we should really just get our O line just to be pretty good and draft players that are good for the O line position. And I know Cooper Cup has been injury prone, so maybe bring in a extra wide receiver that can actually play if anyone gets injured. But basically, just play the contract out. Just we've seen Goff whenever he has a good O line. Maybe we should just do that, and then I know after the next 3 to 4 years, once Goff leaves, Jalen Ramsey, he's still going to be a pretty good age. So it's not like our players we traded for. It's not like they're going to be super old. So we'll still be competitive later down the road.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely a hot take there. I personally, I mean, and here's actually something very interesting. Jared Goff's contract hasn't even started yet. That contract extension, it was an extension. So he's still in his contract. They added obviously a little bit of a pay raise, but it hasn't really kicked in yet. Um so I mean, they really it's not going to be easy. It is not going to be easy. I think he's gone personally. Like, I 100% think he's gone, but I certainly respect your opinion. And Jared played pretty well, considering at the end of the playoffs. So, if they did roll with him, and I have said if they decide to go with him, I won't hate it. But I do see why Sean McVay would be ready to move on from him.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I really like Wolford though. I think if here's the thing, if Jared Goff can be able to play as a backup and not have an attitude, I think I think we should just keep him for as a backup, and Wolford should start. At least that way, unless we get rid of him, we'll in July or after July, because if we do that, then the money won't be that much of an issue or even less extreme. But it's just a money issue. It's about a win now mode, and I just really feel like our players, like, down the road, they're still going to be good. Like, they're not going to be that old. So we have a team for the next 10 years, I'd say.
I would say that the problem with that is that if you were to stick with Jared Goff for 3 to 4 years and it backfires, not only do you not get out of that contract and you continue to pay him all that money, but just think about it. When these guys that you want to pay, say a Jordan Fuller comes to the table and is like, I want to get paid. Say, somebody along those lines, like a Van Jefferson, you're not going to be able to pay them. So, I kind of feel like they really have to reset, turn the clock back and, obviously eat some money. But at the end of the day, I think here's the thing. Jared Goff being his backup, it sounds good on the surface because Goff would be like the best backup in football. But the problem is Jared Goff wouldn't do that. If he loses the battle, he's out. So I think he'd probably leave. But Vought, or Vout, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Which person are you in the chat? Just so I know, because I haven't seen your name in the chat. Maybe you are in the chat, and I haven't just seen your name.
Oh no, I haven't been chatting that much, honestly.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
You're a
just been
ghost.
listening.
I see. Well, hey, you have anything else for me? I saw that Justin89 entered here a little bit earlier, so I want to just get a bunch of
Yeah,
people on. But
one more thing.
Mhm.
Do you think, I don't know if it actually happened yet. I haven't been keeping up. Is Tory Holt going to be in the Hall of Fame, or is he just a finalist still right now?
So he's a finalist. We won't know for sure until I want to say next week. It's normally it's normally media week, and I think they canceled media week, so it'll be next week. And we'll know probably, I don't know, next Saturday. If anybody knows for sure, shout it in the comments. But what's up, Holden? How we doing? But yeah, I mean, I think Tory Holt could get in. I just think it's obviously, it's a tough class, and it's going to get tougher. And we know, you saw Isaac Bruce, and it's not going to be easy, but you could have that, as far as Tory Holt getting in. I mean, we had Kurt Warner on, and Kurt Warner flat out said, it's overdue. It's not as overdue as, say, Isaac Bruce, but it is overdue. So, right now, I mean, let's see who the finalists are. I totally forgot off the top of my head. I know there's 15 modern era finalists. And then they have the older players as well. So it's okay. So the finalists are Jared Allen, defensive end, Rondé Barber, defensive back, Tony Baselli, tackle, Leroy Butler, safety, Alan Faneca, guard, Tory Holt, wide receiver, Calvin Johnson, wide receiver, John Lynch, free safety, Peyton Manning.
NerdWallet can help you find the credit card to make them happen.
That was annoying. You probably will hear that, folks, in the thing. It's an ad. But anyway, Peyton Manning, quarterback, Clay Matthews, linebacker, Sam Mills, linebacker, Richard Seymour, defensive end, Zach Thomas, linebacker, Reggie Wayne, wide receiver, Charles Woodson, defensive back. If I'm going to be honest with you, Tory Holt's going to have a tough time getting in because I can see right off the bat Peyton Manning, Calvin Johnson, and Charles Woodson are probably getting in first ballot. Yeah, that's not going to be easy. And they never add two wide receivers. I think Tory Holt would make sense as the fourth guy, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know for sure if he's going to get in or not, unfortunately. I hope he does, but he might have to wait a little bit. So, yeah, that's that on the Hall of Famers. But no, he hasn't gotten in yet. We'll know. Actually, hold on a sec. Okay, so we'll know Saturday. NFL honors this Saturday, February 6th. So next Saturday. Yeah. Anything else?
Awesome. That's all. Thank you. I hope Goff does well, and yeah, he definitely needs to turn up next year. Hopefully he'll definitely win MVP and comeback player of the year awards, and I hope he just does well in McVay's system. Hopefully he does super good.
Yeah, I mean, if he's still on the team, that's definitely a hot take. I don't think he'll be here, but if he is, obviously I'm gonna root for him. But appreciate you, man. You take care. Have a great night.
Yeah, thank you. Jared Goff,
Yeah.
MVP.
All right. Let's see. Where are we at? All right, Justin89. How we doing?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hey, you hear me? Yeah.
I can hear you.
Hey, how you doing, man? It's Justin Orsick.
Hey, what's up, my man? How we doing?
Hey, good, man. Hey, so oh man, yeah. Jared, that it's frustrating. I hate getting into it because it's so much more complicated in my opinion with the simplistic tweets and answers, and it's just like, man, I think honestly, McVay, he paid him, and obviously I know the money and all that is not. I'm not sure how much he was involved in, obviously the contract and how much he got paid and all that stuff. But he felt like, yeah, he could have rolled with him if he had simply developed mentally and simply just developed from the head up, and just learning and the whole mobility thing. It's not just him not moving fast enough. It's just when the shift in the pocket sends pressure. If you're going to be a non-mobile quarterback, you got to do it at basically an elite level in this day and age. And I made a tweet a while ago. I joked. I mean, if Goff was at least as mobile as me at 31 years old, I think McVay would be thrilled with it. And again, it's not about straight line speed, just about, just being shifty, just like Wolford is being shifty. Like I think they mentioned, like Wolford's 40 is not any faster than Goff's was. Yeah, but look how much damn quicker he is, and how much he senses pressure and moves and keeps his eyes downfield. And he's just nobody from an AAF. So it's just when you see those comparisons, it's like, come on, you see those comparisons.
No, I definitely hear you. And it's here. Jared Goff has had all sorts of time, and not even everybody gets an opportunity to be in the position that he's in. I say, and it's not a knock on him necessarily, but I mean, this guy literally entered a palace, and all he had to do was clean the windows, and he stopped cleaning the windows, and it's like, I'm not trying to trash him, but I'm like, you have the built for tough offensive line of the year in 2018. You have one of the best coaches in all of football in Sean McVay. You have, Robert Woods, Sammy Watkins, Cooper Kupp, Brandon Cooks, Tyler Higbee, Todd Gurley. And Todd Gurley that's the thing. We don't appreciate Todd Gurley anymore, but I do. But
he did special things.
Exactly. In 2017 and 18, we're talking about somebody that, in my opinion, I mean, he was the most dynamic offensive player that's not a quarterback in the league. So, Goff had a lot, and I think that's why we hold him to such a high standard.
I think, McVay saw, in 2017, 2018, his decision making was, he was conservative in hand fit, obviously, but he was doing it at a high productive level. He wasn't turning the ball. I think in 2017, what was it, seven picks, and then 18 was maybe 12, something like that. Wasn't that much work. He took a little more risks, and I liked it. And then I think McVay just thought, okay, like, he's just going to keep progressing. Why wouldn't he just keep progressing? And then 2019 hits. Yeah, the O-line had some issues in the run game, but in the past, but a lot of those sacks, man, like, you go back and look at that, he's just not even feeling the pocket. And then this year, it's like, okay, first quarter of the season, all right, you're getting your production, you're being hand fed, it's working. Then defenses start throwing different things at you, and now he's got to think more. McVay can't do everything as much for him. He can't call those perfect games, and he's perfect. And God forbid the man doesn't sleep enough as it is. He's trying to think up the exact perfect game plan so his quarterback can produce at a high
Yeah.
level. And yeah, the Minnesota game, the Chiefs game, the Saints games, yeah, when he's high, yeah, when that's clicking, man, that's like that car's going full tilt, man. But that thing's got so many problems with it, and any moment that spark plug blows, the engine's done, and you're just praying. And so it's just like, what do? You never know what you're gonna get.
It's true. And, it's like everything's great when everything's going, perfectly, but just when things start to, tail off a little bit, it's like that's when Goff starts to tail off a little bit. I'll say this, he's shown signs of how he was back in the day, and I love how we're saying back in the day. I mean, 2018 isn't that far away, but
Yeah.
I mean, he showed it against Tampa. He still can make those throws. But
Mhm.
he just can't do it consistently. And here's the thing: I hear when people are like saying, "Well, look at what he did in 2018," and I'm like, "Well, yeah. I mean, anybody that's capable of doing that should be in the NFL. You're not saying that you shouldn't be in the
Yeah.
NFL. You're saying, this guy has, he struggles as far as being consistent, and consistency is huge. It's absolutely huge. I
Mhm.
want to know, like I always say in fantasy football, give me the guy that gives me 15 points a game, or screw it. Give me a guy that gives me 11 points a game every single game. I know I'm getting 11 over a guy that's going to give me
Mhm.
28 one week and then 4 the next.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
talking about Will Fuller versus Robert Woods, if you couldn't tell, but um,
Yeah.
but I mean for real though, and that's the thing is I want just like a plane, like it, kind of going through like that. Like
Well,
I don't want like up and down roller coaster type of stuff, and I just
and
feel
that's
like you get that
McVay's
with Goff.
offense.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
it's literally just production based yak yards. He's literally giving you layup after layup, and he'll give you the deep shot. If you're good enough, he'll take it. And then, God forbid, if he's having a rough day, you got to be able to give the guy something to work with and elevate him once in a while. And especially when you got a defense at that kind of level. What's frustrating is this year, this team easily could have been 13-3 in the season. There's literally the amount of handful of cringeworthy turnover. Oh my gosh. Like the one where he was trying to juke the defender in the open field and fumbled, and then the pick in the Seattle game where he just could have run out of bounds. It's like, what do you, bro? $100 million. Like this is simple, and that gets frustrating. And I know that's when McVay was just like, that's when McVay just peaked. I think, in my opinion.
Well, what's funny is that I don't know if you call this a negative of McVay or what have you, but one thing I found interesting is we saw McVay, his breaking point with Coach Bones. We saw it in the Arizona game. They go for
Yes.
that, they go for it on fourth down, and they do a fake punt around like the 30, their own 30,
Mm-hmm.
and we see it immediately, right? But
Mm-hmm.
now, so we see that, and then basically like with now Goff, we've seen moments
Mm-hmm.
where McVay is close to that breaking point, hasn't quite gotten there. I feel like he didn't have to get there. I feel like John Wolford kind of showed him the door, was like, there you go.
Yeah. Well,
So
I love listening to body language, press conferences, tone. Yeah, those last couple games with Goff. I mean, McVay's tone and the way he talked. Obviously, a lot of people picked up on it, but I think Goff himself, but also, also the way Wolford talks, like the way you picked up like post game things. He just talks so eloquent. Like he's like, yeah, I want to fix this, things like that. And Goff just gives you the same like. You just don't you don't get that feel like, dude, you want this? Are you 110% here, or are you you get that feel, and I feel a lot of fans gonna get that feel sometimes.
yeah. And then we have this person that's impersonating Jared Goff in the comments. I think that's kind of funny. I'm depressed. My thumb hurts. McVay wants me gone. Gurley got traded. Guys, just give me a break. I can still be a good quarterback. My
See,
God.
Goff hater. He's a tough dude. That dude broke his thumb. He pulled that thing back and he came in. Like, I think guy's a person, but if you can't, like I said, I rode with him this year. This was the year. I was like, okay, 2020, you got it. In the first quarter, I was like, all right, you're getting. And then it's like, what are you doing? And then it's just even tougher. Not good guy or not, that's just not enough, you know.
No, I hear you.
And the whole thing is he could plug and. I think maybe if nobody's ever really done it before, but he could plug and play multiple QBs if they have the cerebral ability and they're just mobile enough, mobile like he was in his playing days. I know there's jokes about he sees himself in like Wolford and stuff like that, but yeah, give him something like that. Smart, won't make dumb decisions, mobile. He doesn't need that much. He's that productive on offense. He'll find ways to produce yak or big plays and run the ball, and it's just.
Yeah, and now, there's a legitimate weapon, a seasoned weapon now after, rookie years under his belt and Cam Akers. And so I think it gets a little bit easier.
Yes,
And
he is fluid.
yeah, I like him. I like Darrell Henderson, but look, I want to talk a little bit about the whole the conversation you had with Mike Silver, because I do think you were spot on, and here's the thing, I'm not trying to trash the guy, but what I will say is that there is some bias there. He did go to Cal, and I get that. Look, I mean, I'm
his
not
bobblehead. I saw that clip on NFL Network.
Yeah,
his bobbleheads with him and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, see, like, I mean, I'm not gonna pretend that like when people are talking about, like, say, Kansas Jayhawks, and somebody bashes Andrew Wiggins or somebody bashes, Joel Embiid. Like, I will always feel the need to defend them, but I'm also not a reporter in the NBA. So,
and that's why in jest, I just mentioned the trolling joke, and I was like, I could have gone on for paragraphs and been like, dude, I could have gone on for hours, but I was like, I get it. If you want to troll me, you get it. Everybody knows McVay's not the issue. But
yeah, and I don't know. It's definitely weird. I mean, don't you have a little bit of concern the fact that report comes out from Mike Silver that he got benched? I don't know. It sounds to me, some people were saying it sounds to me like Jared Goff kind of went back and, like,
he did on the plane. He said he talked to him on the plane back. I don't know if he's got some kind of close personal connection with him or whatnot. But he said he talked to him on the plane ride back. Was it the Seattle game that he won? I think, yeah. And he talked about that's when he made that. He wrote the article the next morning. Was out. It was during their private talk. He said in the plane ride. But he said he was going to talk to him post game on the plane ride home or something about. So, yeah, but I know he's got a bias. But yeah, it's fun. I love listening to Peter Schrager. He's a big Wolford fan. I love listening to GNFB. Every once in a while, I get a chime in on them. But yeah, it's interesting. This off season is going to be very, very interesting.
Now,
but
would you be okay with Wolford starting? Do you think, like, the Rams could win a Super Bowl with John Wolford?
If that defense can stay top 10, top 5-ish,
I think you're looking at a top 10 defense.
Okay, then if Wolford can pick up where he left off, which is, I know it was a small sample size, but like I said, you saw his mobility. He's got a quick release. Yeah, he's not got the beautiful downfield. He's got some good arm strength. It's not what you want to maybe call elite, but you don't, like you said, McVay does not need that. And yeah, he can definitely produce with him. And yeah, I would love to see that. I definitely would love to see that roll out if he needed to, if he wanted to wait on a quarterback for a year or two in the draft, like you mentioned, or maybe see what other QBs on veteran good QBs that are still young on the market, maybe also disshuffled, looking for a way out in a couple of years, Rodgers thing, good Lord. I made a joke on Twitter. You just McVay on every drive and just give Rodgers like 25 or 50 plays and say, just go for it, bro. Like, anything will work.
Yeah, I look at McVay and I think, obviously the best is yet to come, and I think, being in this position where you basically, you get stuck with Jared Goff. You're told, hey, change this guy. He does. And now it's like, well, hey, he's struggling again. So this is your fault. It's like, well, when I saw him, he wasn't even this good. So I don't know how it's my fault, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like at this point, you know, Sean McVay's over it. I think he just is ready to get a quarterback that can run his system, not turn the ball over. You know, obviously play good defense, run the football, you know, manage the clock. At the end of the day, I think he wants them obviously to go back to being number one offense in the league. I don't know if that's going to happen with
Mm-hmm.
Wolford. I think they would be still explosive. I think they could be top 10. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as number one offense in the league, you need a guy like Rodgers, obviously, or Watson, or
Mm-hmm.
Stafford, I would say. So I think Minshew would be a big help too, and he would be cheap.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. That was. I wish, you know, and gosh, in hindsight, if I know you think, I don't know who it was that mentioned how much influence. I think it was Sosa that was mentioning you know, how much influence they have with the Goff payments with McVay, and then also I was thinking back even before that, like Goff being picked over Wentz. Was that Kroenke doing that? Was that a Cali thing? Picking, because I wanted Wentz over Goff. In my opinion, I wanted mobility, and yeah, if Wentz had developed under McVay, that would have been something, because Wentz would not be playing hero ball, and he'd literally be that pocket passer mindset that would scramble like a Russell Wilson type when he needed to. In my opinion, if he had developed as a rookie and had McVay, it's always a wonder for me. But
We got Cooper Kupp and Jared Goff in the comments here. Um, not really, but
that dude. Yeah.
so who do you want under center? If you could pick any quarterback, who do you want under center? I guess realistic quarterback.
And like one that we could possibly get.
Yes.
God, who is there a list of like top 5 affordables you already have? I'm trying to think.
Well, I'd say either Goff, Wolford, Perkins, Hodges on the roster, and then you have
Yeah.
Stafford, a trade candidate, maybe Kirk Cousins, a trade candidate, maybe Mariota, a trade candidate, Jameis Winston's a free agent, Minshew, a trade candidate. Then the draft, Lance, Fields, Wilson.
Yeah, I wonder in the draft if it's. I think. See, and I don't follow enough college like you do, but I wonder if, like the previous guy said, if maybe waiting a year on the drafts might be there in the long run. I know with the defensive talent, I know Donald's still in his prime for definitely for sure, Rams and all them, but it's like, damn, it's like roll with Wolford for a year, give him a shot, see what better talent. College is coming up that McVay is keeping his eye on, and Sneaker keeping their eye on. And then, like I said, maybe there'll be different other QB options, because there's some different. The Minshew thing is intriguing.
Yeah.
But it's like no other, and that's why the Michael Silver thing was frustrating. It's like, well, like obviously no other, you can't. He's not even tradable. That tells you so much. Even like how much would you? Well, who would you have to give up on the? Okay, here's my question to you. If you could get someone like one of your top 3 quarterbacks that you would want, Watson, Rodgers, whoever maybe, in some kind of crazy trade scenario. And also think of this: Wes Snead, we haven't had a first round pick in forever. Obviously, we don't have a problem winning without a first round pick. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Whether getting one of those quarterbacks with some first round picks and trading a decent player or two that we have, but it's like, man, our blue chips are blue chips, and we can't afford those. And your thoughts, like, who would you, in some kind of crazy scenario to get a quarterback, would you a couple first round picks, a second, maybe a good player or two for a quarterback in like one of those crazy scenarios?
Like, what's the most I would give up?
Yeah, for one of your like top 3 quarterbacks, for like maybe some like picks from the Rams and maybe a player or something like that for one of those franchise quarterbacks.
I mean, I think right off the bat with Deshaun Watson, I would consider giving up 3 first rounders for him, because of the
Yep.
talent he is, and I get that age and the guy that's under
Mhm.
contract. Minshew, I would give up a third or a fourth rounder, probably a fourth. Um, Matthew Stafford, a first and a third, or
Yeah.
Goff in a third, maybe.
Yeah, and so why wouldn't under the last 4 years of success with no first round picks, why couldn't they keep doing that? Obviously, their talent scouting mid round talent is absolutely amazing. I know we just lost what was it, the lead the college scouting director? Is that
Yeah,
what it
he's
was?
with the Lions.
He's the GM. Yeah, good for him. Yeah,
Brad
like it's
Holmes.
yeah, they joked earlier. I think it was with Ryan Clark and the other guy on was it Get Up or whatever. Like, God, you put any coach under McVay and they'll take off. Or even like if you put any all black coaches under McVay, there'd be no diverse. They'd be all
Oh
diverse, and
yeah,
they all kind of joked. That was funny.
I
But yeah,
saw
stuff like
that
that. It's
on
like
Get Up.
yeah, that was a funny clip, but it was kind of true. Yeah, but yeah, like but yeah, the way I mean, do they need first round picks that bad? I mean, I know it's like getting yourself in a hole, but if you're that good at getting mid round talent, and Watson is that young, and you still have Donald and Ramsey and core young players on defense, and you get some good defensive coordinator, then you know something crazy scenario to chew on.
No, I get that. I mean, look, I think you definitely can afford to give up picks. I think this team has shown you that they can win without, a first round draft pick. And they'll have to do that anyway, regardless if they trade.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of, extending the no first round picks. I think they might do it, to be honest with you. I think by them coming out today and having that leak about Wolford being in competition for the starting quarterback job, I think that says a lot about him. It says that Jared Goff's gone, but it says that they're okay or at least somewhat comfortable starting John Wolford week 1 of next season. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Or even in the future, taking a first round pick and trading up in the draft in a year or two in the future and stealing someone maybe high, something like that too.
I think my go-to scenario would be I'd want to see Wolford play, and
Yes.
I'd want to draft Trey Lance or trade for Gardner Minshew or Stafford. I think those are my 3 go-to scenarios where it's either Lance, Stafford, or Minshew that you add to this quarterback room.
Yeah,
So
Staff. I mean, they always say like, Stafford is the one of the most underrated. I don't know how that team manages to self-destruct year after year, but all the receivers, everybody that plays with Stafford, they're like the dude. And you look at his numbers and his plays, like the dude just can sling it, and that would be
yeah.
I'm sure McVay could do something with that. And yeah, Minshew's still young, and I watched him play a number of times, and just good decision making a lot of times, definitely mobile. So you can keep developing and making good decisions. Yeah, it's all about just developing from the neck up, being mobile enough in the 2020 NFL where the defenses are scary fast, and because you can't have line protection like it's 2000 anymore. The Joe Flacco's are done.
Yeah.
So
You're not kidding.
So it's like, so yeah, you got to be able to elevate the team, and elevating the team means making a play when the play breaks down, like Russell Wilson has done time and time again. And I think that poor guy, speaking of Russell Wilson, is the way they beat on him and shell shocked. And I think they made a shell shocked. Yeah, he's made some bad decisions, but good God, like the amount of beating that man has taken. Pete Carroll has. I'm sorry, he's somehow gotten great talent over the years. In my opinion, he completely in that franchise the last 5 years, in my opinion. That's a whole different topic.
Well, yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I haven't really been too high on the Seahawks. I said this year, surprisingly, their defense is their best unit. It flip flopped, I think 6 games through. After starting off probably worse than any defense in NFL history. But I just think like Russell Wilson is the engine of that entire team, not just the offense. And so because of that, I think it really puts them in a rough predicament. This guy is overdue about getting hurt. He still has not missed a game. So, even Tom Brady tore his ACL. Just think about that. If Russell Wilson gets a weird hit or something, he tears his ACL, that team's done. I mean, it would be Geno Smith right now as it stands under center. So, I definitely agree with that. Now, I did notice that. So we have Jules 101 in here that I do want to get to. One final question, if you have one for me. If not, I'll ask you one to finish it off, Justin.
Oh man. Yeah. Shoot me a question.
All right. So I'm going to shoot you a question. Who is your guy, if you have one, in the draft? Like a guy that you would put. You put that flagpole right in there, and you'd be like, "This is my guy. Planting my flag."
Man, I don't know, because in my opinion, I was kind of hoping they might. I mean, I could see them drafting up to something. I don't know. Definitely an offensive. I don't follow the drafting up, but definitely I think offensive line.
You think they should go
up
after
for
offensive line?
trade. Yeah, because I think a lot of them they're decent. They're ski very well, but I think losing a guy like Saffold, who's just a mauler and power, like you need having that extra power, giving them extra run game protection. But yeah, I don't know which are the best linemen they could take in the first round. But I was thinking offensive linemen, in my opinion, because the skill positions are pretty good. Defense, yeah, there's definitely inside linebackers, but I don't know if there's any great offensive linemen. But I think a boost in there somewhere.
I hear you. Hey,
Havenstein's been up and down as much as Goff has, so I don't know what his deal is.
I agree with you. I would include him in any trade I did. But I'll say this for offensive line before you go. Make sure you jot down the name Creed Humphrey. He's going to be a stud. He's with Oklahoma, and he's somebody that I'm definitely looking at to be a center for the Rams. In the future.
Okay.
So he's at the Senior Bowl.
Okay.
I saw Sosa was tweeting about him. I've been talking about him a lot on these streams. So
yes.
Keep that name in mind, my man.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Hopefully our guys our scouts and guys can, how the combine works out with the pandemic and everything, that they can get some good up close personal like last time, or they didn't get much last time. So see what they can get.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to be at the Senior Bowl, so we'll see. We'll see what happens, but Justin, appreciate you stopping by. You're my guy. We
appreciate it, man.
We talk on Twitter,
I love your content, man.
Appreciate it, my man.
Yeah, man. Keep growing. Keep grinding.
Will do, my man. You take care.
All right, you too, man.
All right. Let's see here. Jules 101, if you are here.
Yo, what's good, brother? How's it going?
How are we doing?
Not much, dude. Just finished the Laker game right now. It was kind of, devastating. They lost by a point.
Oh, they lost by a point? That's depressing as hell. I'm on the stream right now, so I had no idea. Damn it. Breaking news.
Dude, it was like I just came home from work and I saw through my phone that they were like, head to head with they played with Philly today,
Yeah.
And Philly's low key a pretty good team this year, dude. Like they picked up a few good guys, so they're pretty competitive in the East Coast, but man, the Lakers are kind of playing trash today, so it was kind of like disappointing, but they made a run towards the end, and I was kind of getting hyped, and I logged into your stream, so I was kind of watching two things at once, but yeah, they took the L, so it is what it is, though. We had a good run on the road, so we're 10-1 now, so.
Yeah, it's weird, because, like you said, they were undefeated before that game. I didn't realize it was on the road. That's a bummer. I would have liked to keep that undefeated streak.
Yeah, exactly, but it has to be. All good things come to an end, so it's all good, dude. But
yeah, so which name are you on the chat? Are you Julian Sniper?
Yeah, that's me. I'm Julian Sniper 21. Yeah.
Awesome. Because I've seen, I love putting a name to the the voice, because it's cool. I seen you a bunch, so.
Yeah, dude. I just I started following you after the wild card game. I was kind of looking up videos about, because I was so impressed about the Rams defense. Like I knew they were good all along, but man, that Rams defense was freaking stellar against that game. I wish we had against the Packers, but it is what it is. But I saw your video. You talked about like the film, the game, and I just saw your channel. I was like, dang. I was like, I started watching football in 2016, ironically when the Rams came into LA.
Yeah.
So, and that year I started watching the Rams. I watched Jared Goff get drafted. I was thinking, man, this is gonna be a freaking franchise QB and all that. But I mean, look at right now, dude. We're kind of talking about not having them next year. So it's
Yeah.
crazy.
No, I hear you. The draft is very it's all sunshine and rainbows when the draft is there. And then it's
Exactly.
like when you have to get your nose dirty, you have to, nose to the grindstone. It's like it doesn't always work out.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's crazy, dude. But I mean, like you said before, dude. Like Jared Goff is not a terrible QB, but
No, not at all.
I'm in the majority here of the frustrated fans that, man, I feel like our playoff window is kind of like towards the middle now because I mean, when Sean came on, dude, McVay, he changed his freaking culture, man. Like it was insane. It's like Frank Vogel with the Lakers and Dave Roberts with the Dodgers, man. Like they changed their culture real quick. And when you have a coach like that and players like Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, we made that big trade to get him last year, even though we didn't make the playoffs. Oh well. But I feel like our window right now is kind of towards the middle. Yes, we're kind of getting young still, but I think it's time to reset the clock, like you mentioned before with the QB situation.
Yeah, that's really my ideal scenario. I mean, I think you look at the opportunity to, well, one, you have John Wolford. So you have it. I said
Yeah.
they've had 2 starting quarterbacks on the roster. One is a lot of money you'd like to get rid of immediately, and the other one is on a really easy deal to handle. So he's cheap, and you can have John Wolford go out there. Not only is he cheap, but I feel like he's an upgrade over Jared Goff based on mobility. You could argue accuracy right now. You could argue, quick release. His ability to work off schedule. And just the fact I think he's just a quicker processor of the field. I mean, I watch him in the Seattle game. I think if he didn't get hurt, he was going to have a huge game. And that's the thing that bothers me so much about that Jamal Adams hit because I really think he was locked in. And then they called that design quarterback run, which I just hated. And ruined that.
It's devastating, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, even Sean McVay was like, "Oh man, I made that stupid play, after the post game."
Yeah.
Like it was just like, dude, like I was just so pissed off after and it wasn't even a flag, was it? Like if I remember correctly, like if that was against Wilson, dude, they would have fucking gone to shit, bro. Like the league would have been like, "What the hell, dude? That's Wilson. Why you hit him like that?" But if Aaron Donald ran into Wilson like that, oh man, that would have been devastating.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think it was a flag. Originally, they threw the flag, and then they picked it up weirdly after Wolford wasn't moving. So I don't know why, but yeah, it should have been a flag to me.
Exactly.
I think somebody's how many are in Discord? Let's see. That's a good question. I gotta find that. We have a Discord. Wow, it just keeps growing. So we're at, trying to do math on the fly is really scary. 165. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, 165. No, that's stupid. 166. Cause me. I didn't include me.
You gotta include you, bro.
So yeah, this thing's been growing. We were at like 101 for a while. It is the Downtown Rams Discord, but I use it for my live streams. That way I can get people in here. Plus, it's growing. It's growing everything. It's growing this channel. It's growing this community.
That's good, man.
It's growing
man.
Downtown
really
Rams.
man.
Appreciate that, man.
You're putting all that good work in, dude. Like I'm telling you, when I saw your channel, like there's other people that talk about like the Rams or whatever, but I went back to your very first few videos. You're talking about like what happened in golf, and stuff like that. And I was just like, yeah, like this guy knows his stuff, like. And me being I guess I've known about the NFL for a while, but like I never had a team. And until the Rams came into town, I was like, you know what, this is gonna be my team. Let me learn about the history. And so you kind of gave me like an input, like, oh, this is who they got, this is who they were, in St. Louis and whatever. So it's really good to have that, have that knowledge. And I'm pretty much the same way when it comes to baseball because I love baseball and I've always grew up, liking the Lakers and the Dodgers. I've been a huge, fan of the sports, but just recently I got into football. So I'm trying to get as much knowledge as I could, and sponge myself, with guys like you, man, because it's crazy. You put out good content, dude. So I really appreciate everything you do.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. That's really nice of you. Obviously, you're getting into the Rams, and there's a lot of history. There's a lot.
Oh yeah,
I
for
don't know if
sure.
you'd be interested, but what I was considering doing is during the dead period of the off season, and there's going to be a dead period where I'm gonna have to pump out content, and there's not going to be any. Like it's that everybody goes on vacation period where there's not a lot of talk. I think it's after right after free agency. It just gets really dead after the draft or free agency. So when that happens, at that point I might go back and down memory lane and do more research because I've done a lot. I know the Rams history pretty well, but I was thinking about doing like a 1940s 1940s video, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and just like recapping the Rams history. Like I don't know if that would be a good idea or not, but I was considering doing that. You let me know if you'd be interested in that.
I mean, shit. Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean to curse. I'm sorry, but it's just like I'm pretty sure there's a lot of us, like a lot of me, obviously, like the majority of us on this, streaming and whatever. I'm pretty sure they know the history, but I know there's a lot of guys out there like me, like that fans like me that want to know the history. So I mean, I'll obviously look into your videos, no matter what. So I already know it's gonna be good content. And hey man, it's your channel. I mean, yeah, I like that you're giving, you're asking for like us feedback, and that's great too. I mean, shit, anything you want, dude, any direction you go with the channel, if it's like Rams related or sports related, dude, I think you'll nail it. So I mean, that'll be a good informative video.
Yeah, I do appreciate that. It is funny how I had a comment earlier today because I did a video on the Baseball Hall of Fame and how there's nobody in the Hall of Fame.
Oh man.
And
Barry Bonds, man, fuck.
Absolutely. Man. I'm all for Barry Bonds. I'm all for Pete Rose. Kurt Schilling isn't the greatest person in the world, but he's still deserving. And Roger Clemens. I mean, he's the all-time. So in the Hall of Fame, we don't have the all-time hits leader, the all-time home run leader, the all-time Cy Young Award winner. All right, that's cool.
I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy to think about. Actually, you put it in perspective. Like they're talking about like Barry Bonds, using what was it PEDs and whatever. And I mean, everybody was in that era, dude. Like that era was just. I mean, you got Mike McGuire, you got Jose Canseco, Barry Bonds. That Oakland team, the '80s Oakland team, man, that team was stacked. So like everybody in that era was using steroids. So in order to hit home runs, I played baseball. Like I know how it is playing baseball, and I'm pretty sure you have too. You need to have good hand-eye coordination. I don't care how strong you are, dude. You still need to have good skills and eye-hand coordination to hit a home run, and to hit that much, I think Barry Bonds deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, dude. That's just my opinion. I mean,
I don't think there's
any. How he's not.
There's not any doubt in my mind that he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, before he left the Pirates, and I just think it's a damn shame. And on top of it, I might get some hate for this, but Bud Selig's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, the commissioner that allowed it, man. The commissioner that they didn't. Here's the thing, okay? So baseball ratings were dying after the strike. And so because the baseball ratings were dying after the strike, then all of a sudden you had a lot of juicing going on, the steroid users like we were talking about. And the league totally, turned a blind eye to it because it was helping the ratings. I mean, you had on one hand Mark McGuire with 70 home runs, on another you have, Barry Bonds 73 that same season. People weren't really suspecting steroids. It was just different. Roger Maris had 61. So like, it was crazy, but it was like, okay, this is new. Maybe some people did. I'm not going to say they didn't, but the MLB didn't do anything. They did nothing about it. So it, exactly. Then afterwards, when it, was convenient for them and they had the ratings back, they decided to take action on it. I don't like it. I'm not saying cheat. That's not the message I'm sending, but like for instance, Alex Rodriguez is going to be a Hall of Fame candidate next year. I think he's his first year of eligibility, and to me, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer again before he started taking steroids. But you know where that'll go. you know, that he's going to end up having to wait. Maybe we'll never get in. And this is somebody, I think, if it's a shame that A-Rod wasn't clean though, because I feel like he had a chance to break the record, although he fell short. But he had a chance to break the record at one point. It looked like he was the clean guy to do it. I had the same thing with Albert Pujols, and it looks like he is clean, but he didn't come close to breaking the record.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, I like all the guys near the record. First off, Babe Ruth in third, Hank Aaron, rest in peace to Hank Aaron in second,
Yeah, man.
and Barry Bonds in first. I like all three of them. I know people are like, "How do you like Barry Bonds? He destroyed." I'm like, dude, Barry's awesome. Okay, like I don't.
Dude, yeah.
Like, here's who I don't like. Okay, ready? I don't like Rafael Palmeiro because Rafael Palmeiro stood up there in the court and was like, I didn't take steroids. I'm like, bro, you were a doubles hitter and now you have more home runs than Reggie Jackson. Get out of here. Like, Mr. October, really? All of a sudden you became a slugger? No, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I mean, like, you hit the nail in the coffin, dude. Like, it's just like, I feel like with these, like, aren't the voters like super old people too, like old timers? Like,
yeah,
they really hate on the steroids, dude.
They
like,
do.
You gotta move on with it, dude. I mean, I guess in that era, like, it was crazy to see. I mean, I wasn't alive back then, but
yeah,
I'm only 19 years old. But fucking, like hitting that many home runs a year, dude. I mean, who came close is like Giancarlo Stanton in 2017. He hit like what 63, 67 when he was with the Marlins, like, and he's a big dude. He's 6'6", and you expect him to be hitting all these bombs. And I just thought, wow, like, dude, like, I mean, I like home runs. I mean, dude, like, who doesn't? And seeing like history like that is crazy. But I mean, I just feel like these guys, no matter what, if they did take steroids, and when you said about A-Rod too, it's pretty right, dude. Like, I don't think he's gonna go right in the way. I'm hoping he does, because I mean, he's one of the ones that played like in the, I guess you could say, modern type of era, in the 2000s, whatever.
Yeah.
But he might take his time to going into Hall of Fame, and it's just kind of in his Texas days and the Seattle days, he was already good. And I mean, let's not talk about the Yankees. I mean, he won that. He was part of that championship team in 09, dude. So it's just crazy.
No, I hear you, man, and I'm a Yankee fan, so obviously I do like. Well, I can't even say that. I can't even say that because I find not every Yankee fan likes A-Rod. So they they'd call him A-Royd and
A-Royd.
whatever, man. I game respect game, and I always liked A-Rod, and I get the whole cheater thing. I do, trust me, but at the same time, the majority of the MLB. Really cheap. I mean, Jacoby Brissett, Jacoby Ellsbury absolutely took steroids that one year. He hit like 30 home runs, and then he was like, "I'm gonna step back," and then like he never came close to 30 again. Like, come on,
yeah, dude. You guys still have him under contract for the Yankees?
Thank God, no.
Oh man, I remember he was playing with the Red Sox, in 13 when they won that championship, and he got that absurd contract at the time, for the Yankees. And I don't think he played like a full season, did he? Like, I don't remember fully, but I know he was, quote unquote injured a lot, like you just said. I mean, he just never played a full season again, dude. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, no, he had so many issues injury wise. He could never stay healthy. And, I liked the signing at first because I thought we were getting, like a 5-tool player. But then we found out that, he clearly took steroids and his power was gone. And aside from that, I mean, this dude just, the best ability is availability, and he was never available. And this is a 162-game season. If I only get you 30 games, you're not helping me win pennants.
Oh no, dude! Hell no! You need to play at least 160, bro, at minimum.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Especially in the Yankees, dude, like that's all they want to do. I mean, like right now, I think you guys have a good team to win it all, but you guys have too many power hitters. You guys need more.
Oh, I agree.
Contact.
I absolutely agree.
At least a couple more DJ LeMahieu's. Like, if you guys didn't sign back DJ LeMahieu, you guys that season would have been goodbye, man. Because the long ball really goes too far, especially the playoffs. You saw against. I mean, I don't know if you saw last postseason against the Rays, dude. Like the long ball takes you so far in life, like in the game. You need someone that comes up in clutch, situational hitting. Like that's just how it is with baseball, dude. Postseason baseball, it's a different animal, that's for sure.
Totally agree with you. I understand where they're going with building that lineup because they build it for hitting at their ballpark, and they do have a
Oh,
ton of home
don't get me
games.
started on Yankee Stadium.
But the
Oh
problem is
man.
when they're away from Yankee Stadium, that home run ability kind of goes out the window. I mean, they still have it, but it's not, they're built to hit off that, the short porch in right field. I mean, how many times have you heard that, So
Yeah, that's
it's
how many times you heard that's a fly out in this stadium, At
exactly.
Fenway Park, that's a fly out, like goddamn, bro. It's like you're
Yeah.
right though. I mean, they tried, but I feel like a team like that is so talented, like it kind of makes me kind of like wow, like that's a talented ass team. I mean, you got Judge, Stanton, you got freaking Voit at first base, Urshela, Sanchez that in the pitching, dude. Don't get me started in the pitching. Like you just have a solid pitching staff.
Yeah.
I
Just
don't
picked
know,
up
dude. In the playoffs,
Jameson Tyon.
Tyon, dude, from the Pirates, and you guys got Corey Kluber on a deal. That would be a huge deal, dude, if he turns out to be Cy Young Kluber from Cleveland in 2016. Like,
Where did he
dude, that
go?
would be a nasty. What was that?
Where did he go? I mean, it was like he was a superstar and then he fell off. It was the same thing I saw with what's his face? Keuchel. Dallas Keuchel.
Oh, dude, yeah, Keiko got. I mean, I'm a Dodgers fan personally,
Yeah.
and I'm part of we played against the Astros in 2017, and you know how that happened with the cheating scandal.
Yeah.
We lit up Keiko, dude. Keiko got lit up ever since that postseason, dude. He's never been the same. He's just never been the same, and it's just kind of like sad how these Cy Young winners, dude, they just fall off. Jake Arrieta, he won. He was insane with the Cubs in 15, and he just never came back, dude.
Yeah, he got pretty old. Like, I think it took him a while to finally get towards where he wanted to go. And when he won the Cy Young, what was he, like 33 or whatever? So
he was pretty up there in age. He was pretty much passing his prime.
Because I liked him as a a prospect with the Orioles, but he just
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with those type of players, it's kind of like going back to the Rams. Like, I mean, with the Rams situation, you always could go for a young QB, but with those type of players like the Cubs, they just had to get him in his best years because they're ready to rebuild, and they thought, you know what, man, if we trade for him right now from Baltimore, they get him in his best years, and they pretty much did. I mean, they won a World Series in 16. They broke the curse, and they got the best out of Arrieta and all those John Lester. They pretty much went in. They win now, dude. So it's kind of sad seeing these pitchers fall off, but that's just how it is. I mean, I'm a big Kershaw fan, and he was kind of falling off the last few days, but I'm just really happy he got his ring already, dude. So,
Oh yeah, no, me too. I really like Kershaw, and I'm glad he did get his ring because, we see it with football how certain guys
Aaron Rodgers, man. I mean,
gets held over their head. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has a ring, and people still hold it over his head.
You know what, dude? I feel like Rodgers is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, Brady, yes, he has 6 rings, but Brady had a lot more better teams than Rodgers did. I mean, look, you just saw this freaking past week. I mean, honestly, I feel like that's on the coach and on Rodgers. Well, not really Rodgers, but more on the coach for not going for it on fourth down. What's your opinion on that, dude? What do you think about that play? You think they should have gone for it, 4th and goal?
Absolutely. I'm not kicking the field goal. There's only 2 minutes to go. I mean, in that scenario, you're doing that with 4, 5, 6 minutes to go. You're not doing it with 2.
Yeah,
so I just to give the ball back to Brady, and I mean, I no matter what you say about Brady, I don't care. The last 2 minutes of the game, I'm not giving it back to a guy that's notorious for going down the field and winning.
Exactly.
I don't care.
I think what broke the Packers up was that last second touchdown ending the first half. I think that just kind of ended the Packers. I mean, the highs were still up, the hopes were still up, but I feel like without that touchdown, the Packers take it.
No, I definitely hear you there. Well, let's because I'm getting exhausted over here. It's 11:30 on my side.
It's all good, bro.
And we've been doing this for nearly 2.5 hours. So let's wrap it up here. Give me a rapid fire. Let's see, 3 players. Do you follow the NFL draft at all?
Kinda. I mean, I know like about Trevor Lawrence, and you talked about Trey Lance. I mean, I'm probably not the best guy to answer these questions, but I mean, what you got?
All right. Well, I was gonna say, give me like your 3 guys in this draft that you want the Rams to grab.
Ooh, considering they're in the second round, I don't know anything beyond that, dude.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Eh,
I mean, hey, Trey Lance would be a steal at the second round, but I don't think he's gonna be that far down. To be honest.
no. He would not. um. So okay. So let's see. What question can I give you? Okay. What's the Rams' record gonna be next year?
Do I pick my QB? Can I pick a QB to start on their center for Rams, and then I'll tell you?
Yeah. Go right ahead. Pick your signal caller.
Okay. I feel like they're going to stick with Wolford, and as they should, they just stick with Wolford and go on to next year in the first round and get a QB. With Wolford and the way that McVay runs his offense, and considering that the defense is top 10 or top 5 even, I'm gonna say 12 wins for sure. Anything above 12 wins is a good season for me. Lock up that 1 seed and have all the home games in LA, dude, and run that playoff drive to the Super Bowl and win, take it all. I'm in win now, dude. I'm in win now mode, that's for sure.
So you think they're gonna go 12-5?
12-5. That they have a 17-game schedule, right?
Yeah,
is that the situation now?
Yeah, it's weird.
That's kind of crazy.
I don't like it at all.
I mean, they could have easily gone 13-3 this year, but Goff kind of messed up a few games, and we that Bills game too was devastating, but what can you do about it, dude? So I'm saying 12 wins.
12,
I mean, considering
12
that the 49ers are coming back, so I think 12 wins will take it. We'll seal it.
Yeah, I'm kind of around the lines of like 11-6 and 12-5 myself. I'm really
that's a pretty good prediction.
trying to get over this. It took me so long to get all of the records down pat, and now they change them, and it just pisses me off because
dude, that extra game, dude, it changes the whole lot,
and it looks ugly. Like 10-7, that just looks disgusting.
That looks like a not winning team, that's for sure. I mean, 10-6 this season was kind of but
yeah,
we squeezed through, So
10-6 tier wise though is always like, you're good, you deserve a playoff bid, you're good enough, you pass. 11-5 is like, okay, this team's really good, and then like 12-4, 13-3 is like, all right, this is one of the best teams in football. And then if you get a 14-2, 15-1 team, you're like, that's the favorite,
Yeah, I mean, shit. Exactly. I mean, I think record just the way it looks, man, it just plays a lot more in football. That's for sure.
Yeah, the 17 games, though, I think is ridiculous. But, oh, well, expanding the playoffs, adding another game, it's a business. It's all about money. But it doesn't make any logistical sense, in my opinion. Well, we got rid of 2 preseason games. Okay. All right.
Exactly, man. It's crazy. We got to adapt, though. It's all good.
Absolutely. Well, hey, man, I'm going to let you go because I'm actually going to end this stream. So
for sure, man.
I'm going to try and get home at a decent hour. Wow, if I get home by midnight, that will be the first time I've done that in 10 days. So
oh, man. Hey, no, I just want to say, man, I appreciate, all the effort you're doing, man. It's I know it takes a lot out of you, but I know on behalf of all of us, I could say we appreciate the content, man. So keep up the good things, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. Love every single one of you. You
hear that, guys? He loves us.
But no, thanks, man. And I'll have you on again soon. I'm just
yeah, of course,
trying to get a bunch of people on, and obviously now we're almost 3-hour mark, so I gotta wrap it up.
Yeah, I think that's a good time, dude. Yeah, unless you want to sleep in the studio, but it's all good.
At some point, I'm expecting that'll happen. Maybe when we get the futon in here, we got a nice setup, but we don't have a futon yet.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what it's all about, dude. It's all what's it all about, brother. But yeah, like I said, man, appreciate it, and you have a good night, dude, and stay safe out there. And for sure, I'll catch you when you stream tomorrow, any day, man. I appreciate it.
Sounds good, man. You take care.
Thank you, brother. You too.
Thanks, man. All right, folks. Well, it's that time. We have to say goodbye. I love each and every one of you. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Also, if you haven't already, on my channel, you can find a bunch of channels featured. The AJ Show, subscribe to that. Subscribe to Downtown Sports Network, and subscribe to the Lexus Craft my co-host for Downtown Rams. She has a channel as well. I always hate leaving, which is why I end up, it takes so long for me to get out of here. But I appreciate you guys so very much for tuning in. This has been a very fun Wednesday. We had a lot of engagement. I will respond to any DMs. Here's the thing. I have an open door policy. I'm not like top notch or anything like that. I don't look at myself above a ton of people or anything like that. So if anyone wants to DM me, you can follow me at JKBoganDTSN. I will follow you back. Where is it? Okay, I can't even do that. It is right here. So follow that, JKBoganDTSN. And then that's Downtown Rams. Over there, well, I'm not going to be able to point out, but you get my point. Follow it all. Subscribe to it all. Stay in touch. Hit the bell icon if you want to get videos as soon as they launch. Instagram is JKBogan, although I feel like people have just been looking me up on Instagram. I didn't drop the Instagram on the card there. So it's a JKBogan. I don't love Instagram, but I will follow you back. And that's a wrap. Hope you guys enjoyed. I can't say whether or not I'll be back tomorrow. I'm kind of feeling like I might need a break because I am burning myself out. And in order to not burn myself out, I need to make sure that I'm on top of my game. And, doing it every single night is definitely taking a toll. So I don't know yet. If there's news, I'll try, but I don't know yet 100%. So thank you guys so much, and you guys take care. Have a great night. Go Rams.